the low-value men.
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whisper star, low value mail, low value mail at 9 o'clock. We're truth and fiction, take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, June 15th, 2026, the year of our Lord. It's episode number 188. Seeing if I'm loud enough here. Yeah, I'm cranked all the way up. Before we get started, as always, there is a priority Patreon number for those of you that support the show. There's a U.S. number. There's a Canada number. Gives you a way better chance of getting through. Much better chance. So if you're one of these autists who call on a weekly basis, consider signing up. It'll give you a better chance. I will also be doing tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., episode number 3 of my Not Financial Advice live stream. For those who are not up to speed, I'm taking all the money that I get every month from the Patreon, I put it in a Robinhood account, and I'm gambling. This is not investing by any sense of the term. I also, should there be any profit at any point, I will be giving it some sort of Danny dividend, going to one or maybe more lucky patrons, depending on how we do. But before you get excited, the current number is we are down 47%. So not a great start. Not great. I bought some S&P 500 call options today. Pretty underwater. We'll see how they do tomorrow. Probably a stupid gamble. Tune in at 9:30 and see if I blow up the account. Well, I'm not going to blow up the account because I have a bunch of other stuff that's not going to blow up, but these might. So we'll probably get dinged pretty bad if this goes that way. But anyways, you can get access to that. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. You get access to the live chat we're in, ad-free audio, Discord access for the real psychos. And most importantly, the more of you that sign up for the Patreon, the more money I will have every month to gamble and do stupid shit. So I see somebody calling right now. The phone lines are not open. They will be shortly. Calm your tits, sir or ma'am. So far our best, our only thing that we've made any money on, if you're curious, was we bought call options in the Geo group. It was a deportation play. Basically, they own the prisons that they put deportees in before they send them back home. And we doubled our money. Everything else, that one we doubled our money on. It would have gone up way more too if I held it. Everything else getting smoked. So that's what's going on. It's a learning experience for sure, especially with this little amount of money to work with, because you're just not so many options. No SpaceX, nothing like that. Anyways, let's get to the show. The Iran war is over, I think. Is it? I honestly am not sure. Really feeling like this is not the last we've heard of this. That's my gut feeling here. The U.S. says it won. Congratulations. Iran, they say they've won. Not congratulations. The deal, by the way, hopefully this is the last I ever have to talk about this. I know you guys are tired of this. I'm tired of this. Deal reopens the Strait of Hormuz, removes the naval blockade. Iran gets $300 billion to rebuild, and then another roughly $25 billion in frozen funds. That's pretty nice. Hey, taxpayers? So America goes, bombs the shit out of Iran. And then we go, hey, what was the bill for that? $300 bill? All good. We'll pay for it. It's like we turned Iran into a rage room, basically. Iran is just an American rage room where we just go, we're going to break all this shit, and you go, what's the bill? All right, we got it. To be clear, the actual deal has not been released for some reason. I don't know. It hasn't been released. My thoughts on the matter here, with midterms fast approaching, having gas prices elevated, it's not an option. Not an option. So they probably just had to wrap this up. They what did they tell us originally? 4 weeks. We're now March, April, May. We're like 3.5 months. We're almost 4 months from 4 weeks. So not an option. I think that's just, gave it the old college try. Didn't work, depending on who you ask. And I guess that's it. Also, what happened to the unconditional surrender Trump wanted? Remember that? He was like, we will accept nothing other than an unconditional surrender. This isn't even a conditional surrender. I mean, if you had to say one side surrendered, it would be probably maybe the Americans. J.D. Vance says if Iran abides by the deal, they will stop working on enriching uranium and developing nukes. That's obviously a huge if. So they didn't get regime change. The people have not risen up. The regime, I guess, is weakened, but will obviously just rebuild everything. They'll probably, I'm sure their missile program is diminished and they will just restock it. I mean, they have $325 billion coming in. I'm sure you could buy a lot of fucking missiles for that amount of money. And, at some point, we'll get back to exactly where they were before they started. Now, maybe, the win is you go, yeah, but that'll be 10 years from now. They're only going to be at where they were 4 months ago in 10 years. So that's something maybe. Interesting part of all this, the Israelis not happy with this deal. The Jews, the Israelis, not happy. The Mark Levins of the world, very angry about this. And look, many people watching the show believe the U.S. just does whatever Israel tells it to. In this instance, however, not the case. For some reason, that was not the case. And, I certainly would like to hear you guys call in and explain to me, especially the ones who are convinced that America is just Israel's lapdog. Why is Israel unhappy? Why did America not do what Israel says? Because, if Israel had the final say here, the war would have ramped up, boots on the ground, whole thing. But we're not getting any of that. Now, is it possible Israel's influence over the U.S. government is waning? I suppose that's possible. I suppose that is possible. I mean, they've announced that I don't know when this starts, but Israel is no longer going to be accepting U.S. aid. The $3.8 billion they receive annually at some point, I don't know if it's a 10-year thing, but at some point that's going to end. That has been decided as far as I understand. I don't think that's just talk. I think that's a done deal. So all of you are going to be $40 richer per year. Not nothing. Half a tank of gas. Not bad. I will say for a fact, Israel is not going to stop fighting with Hezbollah, which is the Iranian proxy in Lebanon, even if the U.S. orders them to. It seems like there's a real kind of fragmenting here, which I honestly think is a good thing. I think, as I said this earlier, previous episodes, the mud people should just be left to duke it out, okay? If Israel has a problem with Iran or Lebanon, let the mud people duke it out. There's no reason why America needs to intervene. Let the mud people duke it out. Okay. And look, if I had to bet, if I have, and tune in tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., I am a betting man. Overall, this seemed like this was all for a lot for not a lot in return. I guess the best you could say is you're like, yeah, and I know that like the $300 billion is like contingent and you're like, yeah, they got to do stuff. And we're, seen this story before. We're going to be exactly where we're going to be back in the exact same place 5 or 10 years from now. It's going to be Groundhog Day all over again. they're just going to print a couple more shekels, the United States government, and we're going to be exactly back where we were. It'll be as if this never happened, except oil companies and maybe some defense contractors have been enriched. And, Trump's whole entire family. And look, Trump has said for 40 years he wanted to take out Iran. He's been, when this all happened, everybody's like, oh, he's just doing this all of a sudden. No, he's been saying this for a long time. There might have been an ego component here where, he's trying to pad his stats, his presidential stats for his legacy. And that was just one of the things on his list. He goes, yeah, I want to get the Iran thing sorted out. Well, it didn't work. He tried, but he failed. But at least he tried, I guess. I don't know. Probably not. All right. I want to talk about this UFC Freedom 250 thing that was last night. It was pretty awesome. I don't know if I didn't realize it was going to be paywalled. You had to have Paramount Plus. I was watching it in my hotel room in Portland, Maine. Shout out to anybody who's watching who came to the show last night. It was a fun time. I was watching the Stanley Cup final, last game. Shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes, Stanley Cup champions. Eat shit, Mitch Marner. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about there, but if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you do know what I'm talking about. Anyways, watching the fight. It was pretty solid. It was quite the spectacle. I will say, as much as people talk shit about the whole thing, it was pretty well done. It was, all the fights were good. They were all great fights. Highlight of the night, of course, being Josh Hokett saying in his post-fight interview that Michelle Obama is a man, saying that on the grounds of the White House, which was an insanely stupid thing to do. Funny, no doubt, but stupid. You know what it reminded me of, to be honest? And probably some of you can relate to this, is when you're really into, like, when you're really online and then you kind of make this assumption that everybody else is as online as you are. So then you'll drop something to like a kind of a normie person being like, Michelle Obama's a man. And people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? And you're like, oh, you haven't heard this? And they're like, no, I haven't heard that Michelle Obama is a man. That is the first I'm hearing of that. I think that's what that was. That dude's just super online. He's all over Twitter all day, all into conspiracies. And he's like, yeah, Michelle Obama's a man. That's pretty funny. Obviously not a great look having happened, at the White House. Like if he said that at a UFC event at, fucking crypto.com arena, really, who gives a shit? Doing it at the White House, that's kind of a idiotic thing to say. And look, the event went great. All they're talking about is, can you believe, like, it was a great event, went off without a hitch. All anybody's talking about right now is, can you believe this guy said Michelle Obama is a man? So pretty stupid. I wanted to talk about this Daniel Cormier, Eric Trump scandal though, briefly, because it is bizarre. I don't know maybe I'm too online. Maybe you guys don't know what I'm talking about. So yesterday before the fight, Daniel Cormier, who's a former UFC fighter, he's a current commentator. He was commentating the fight yesterday, tweeted and then deleted this post. He says, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for bringing this to light. However, I refuse to stay silent. The UFC is a sport that I'm deeply passionate about. I will not tolerate this type of insider behavior. Shame on anyone trying to ruin this beautiful event. And then these are unencrypted chat DMs from Eric Trump. And this is what the chat, and he posted these in his tweet, and then he deleted the whole tweet minutes later. He says, hey, Daniel, I'm going to be attending UFC 250 tomorrow. Saw you were casting. Hope to see you there. Then Daniel Cormier says, yo, Eric, didn't expect a DM from you. Excited to meet you and the family. Much love, brother. Anything you can tell me about the fighters tomorrow? Who you got winning? He says, haha, I like to stay unbiased, but I love to watch Nikal fight. Then Eric Trump says, you placing any bets? And then Daniel Cormier says, nah, I'm actually not allowed to bet on any cards or anything. Eric Trump then follows, are any of the fighters injured that you know of? Daniel Cormier says, I'm not quite sure why you're asking me this, but I think they're all in good shape. And then Eric Trump says, I'll just cut to the chase. Are any of the fights tomorrow rigged? I've been eyeing the Lopes fight, and I think an upset wouldn't be too unrealistic, $. And then Daniel Cormier follows, no, none of our fights are rigged. And honestly, I am appalled that you would even ask me something like that. Now, this tweet definitely, I would have to think this is all fake. I would have to think Eric Trump is slightly smarter than if he's trying to find out if the Ultimate Fighting Championship is rigged. This shit's happening on his dad's birthday at the White House. You would think maybe send a signal chat, something like that. Not just unencrypted Twitter DMs. It's pretty bizarre. Now, Daniel Cormier, this tweet definitely did get posted from his account. For some reason, it came from his account. Now, obviously, he's saying I didn't post it. I got hacked. After, and then he deleted it, and he's like, I don't even think he said he was hacked, though. That was the weirdest part. He wasn't like, oh, someone hacked my account. Lots of people on Twitter saw it. There were lots of people who were like, yeah, I definitely saw the tweet. So for him to say, like, he didn't tweet it, that 100% happened. Eric Trump comes out. He's like, it's AI, denied it, said it was fake. Now, the screenshots of the DMs could for sure be fake, but they definitely did come from Cormier's account. That we know for a fact. Cormier then followed that deleted tweet up with, are people really this dumb? Now, I assume that was now him actually posting that. That wasn't the hackers posting, are people really this dumb? Now, again, if someone was hacking into his account, usually, first off, when people hack into your account, they change the password. That is traditionally, like, if you remember last year when all these celebrities were having their accounts hacked to promote pump.fun coins, the move is, Matt McCusker had it happen to him a couple times. I saw one of the guys from, I think, Breaking Bad, the bald guy. He had it like a lot. This has happened to a lot of people. They change your password instantly. They don't just log in and keep the password the same. That's the first thing you do, is you change the password so that you now control the account. Now, again, if someone was hacking to his account, it's hard to really understand what the purpose of this is. Is it just to disparage the Trump family, Eric Trump? There was a crypto-related tweet about some Pump Fun token from Daniel Cormier's account following this. And now that was maybe the reason for this whole thing, was for a crypto scam, but it was after the "Are people this dumb" tweet, and it was after the "people are this dumb" tweet. So it was the original tweet deleted, "Are people this dumb?" And then this crypto tweet. Usually these hackers, they put the crypto tweet in the whole thing, because you have to assume that those people, reach out to somebody at Twitter. Twitter works to get it back, especially if you're super high profile. It's like, this guy is sitting next to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan knows Elon Musk. I'm sure it's just a text, and, you probably have your account back in 5 minutes. So time is of the essence here. So maybe it was for the crypto tweet, or maybe that was Cormier covering his ass. Someone just says, oh, go post a thing, go post this tweet, and then you could just have deniability saying your account was hacked, and it's just like a crypto thing. It's hard to really get to the bottom of this. And, I've talked a lot about the Trump family and their cronies enriching themselves in crypto and stock market, all this stuff. This seems extra crazy, though, that, like, what, you can't, it's not enough to make money rigging the fucking stock market. You're just like, yeah, I need to make some money betting on UFC. Like, hard to think Eric Trump would care that much unless he's just like has such an insatiable greed that he needs to do this. But this one is quite bizarre. And then lastly, and then we're going to get to the calls. I'm going to open the phone lines now. We got Gerard answering your calls, everybody. Give it up for Gerard, the man, the myth, the legend. I just want to give a big congratulations to Elon Musk becoming the world's first trillionaire. Now, realistically, he's not the world's first trillionaire. He's just the first known trillionaire because the way that these lists work, whenever they say this is how much money somebody has, this is all public information. Essentially, they go, you can, there's public information, how many shares somebody owns of a company. You go look at the share price, do some quick multiplication. You go, that's how much money this person's worth. But he's probably not the world's first trillionaire. There's probably a bunch of like old families who have that kind of money, and it's just not public. Putin might be close to Elon. We'll never know. It's funny, if you go Google Putin's net worth, it says his net worth is $400,000. Yeah. There's there's speculation all over the place. I'm sure it's closer to a couple $100 billion minimum. And, the usual cast of haters are coming out saying that no one should be allowed to be a trillionaire. How can somebody be a trillionaire? This is, as a Canadian, this was quite embarrassing. One of the largest newspapers in Canada, the Globe and Mail, put out this gem. Opinion: SpaceX IPO makes Elon Musk the first trillionaire. Here's how to properly hate him. Keep in mind, that newspaper, owned by the Thompson family, Canada's wealthiest family by far. They are worth like $90 billion or something. It's run by, the son, who did nothing other than come out of his billionaire father's nuts. So it's not like this was, he built this thing from the ground up. He just inherited this. They also receive huge government subsidies. So the irony here, lack of self-awareness. Now, I personally never understood why people hate rich people. I don't get it. Elon Musk, he's built countless companies. He's created tens of thousands of good-paying jobs. I think it's close to 200,000 jobs. He's trying to give everybody on Earth access to the internet. Yet people just see this number and they get angry. Which, look, the reason the U.S. attracts so many people is the notion that you can do stuff like this. You can come here, you can start a company, and you could become a billionaire or maybe a trillionaire if you are smart enough and so inclined. If that if you take risk, you can start a company and become insanely wealthy. Now, I know some people don't think this, but the more trillionaires there are, especially homegrown trillionaires in the United States, the better off everyone is. People just think this is like a zero-sum game, but it's not. It's not a zero-sum game. You're not, I think people really think that when Elon Musk becomes a trillionaire, there's just a bunch of people who get poorer by $1 trillion. That's not how this works, Bernie Sanders. But this is probably what a lot of his critics believe. And I'll say, I always laugh when people talk shit about Jeff Bezos and why does he have so much money? Because they have an Amazon Prime membership and that they use it all the time. And they're like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is incredible that someone made this and this exists. Yet they'll still talk shit. All right, let's get to the phone lines. That is it for me. You can call in about anything you want. I saw Goob, something about Northern Ireland, some Irish race riots or something going on, keeping the white man down. To be clear, I would just like to say this going forward, there is going to be a zero tolerance policy on this. And I want to be clear. I've mentioned in the past that internet censorship will be returning, that we had a fun time. I've been pretty steadfast on this opinion that the whole no holds barred, say anything, not get in trouble was temporary. I've had numerous YouTube videos, this show specifically, fully demonetized in the past few weeks. Not last week's episode, but the two prior to that. And now they're starting to find like 3-year-old episodes. I'll just get random emails being like, this episode from 3 years ago, it's just fully demonetized. And it's all because of the N-word. So now we have the F slur and the N-word, no bueno any longer. Again, this is mostly a self-preservation thing for my channel, because if I lose my channel, then realistically the show is no longer. There's only two of you this applies to. It's Goob and Slav, obviously. So there will be a zero tolerance policy for that going forward. You'll have to figure out something else to say. I'm sorry, edgy boys. You're not allowed to say it anymore. And that's it. And yeah, anyways. And my guess is it's going to get tighter and tighter. If I had to guess, in 2 years from now, 2028, censorship is going to be closer to what it was in 2020. That's kind of my feeling on it. Anyways, we're going to get to the phone lines. If you want to join the list of very important scrotes, aka the Scrote Wall of Fame, at the start of the show, you can join the $10 tier here on Patreon. Patreon preferred. YouTube takes like 50% If you have a YouTube membership, consider just switching it to Patreon. Like YouTube, if you sign up on your iPhone, YouTube literally takes 50%. It's obscene. Patreon takes like 8%. And all the money that goes to the Patreon, we're just gambling with. So it's not even going to me. It's just going to Mr. Market or whatever. And you get ad-free audio, group chat, all that stuff, the stream. And as always, if you don't have any money, you can support the show. I don't need your money. Just like the stream, share it with a friend, leave a comment, and follow on Spotify. And finally, I have a few dates left on this tour of mine next month in Tacoma, Spokane, and then Atlantic City. You can get tickets at DannyComedy.com or punchup.live/Danny Polishchuk. Okay, let us go to the phone lines. The phone lines are open, 347-391-6995, or the Patreon numbers if you are so inclined. Let's go to caller number 1, which is a name I do not recognize. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's up, Danny? This is Dave, Pilot Dave. How's it going?
How's it going, man? How are things?
Good, man. Good, dude. Sorry I missed calling in last week, dude. I was actually out flying around the country, and I almost did today, too. But I actually started out in New York this morning. Flew to Seattle, and now I'm down here in Vegas on my overnight. So I was like, oh, shit, I fucking actually might be able to catch a show this week.
Globetrotter over here.
Well, fucking life is such as a fucking professional bus driver.
Yeah, that's a life. Yeah, I mean, my friend's a helicopter pilot, and he's like the same thing. He's like, I'm basically just might as well be a bus driver.
Is that Jason you're talking about? Like the guy that was over in Guam or whatever?
No. My friend from my good friend from high school in Canada. He's a helicopter pilot in like northern Ontario. He works in mining and stuff, and he basically just goes up there for 3 weeks, and all he does is they're like, hey, we need to go like survey some area, and he just takes some like geologists up, flies them around.
Yep. And they just fly over lines over the fucking trees and
like
survey the
literally.
area. Yep.
Yeah, he goes, I fly them around, they look at stuff, and then I just go back, drop them off, and just go play video games and work out.
Yeah, I got a bunch of helicopter buddies that do firefighting.
Dangerous job. I don't know if people saw that guy Oliver Tree, that musician dude, YouTuber guy, got.
Yeah, I did see something about that. He got fucking
helicopter crash yesterday in Brazil.
I didn't realize he was a helicopter crash.
Yeah, it was a helicopter crash. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but they are way more dangerous than planes.
Fuck yeah, they are, dude.
Like by a huge. My friend, when he graduated,
huge margin.
Yeah, huge margin. I went to his like graduation when he graduated because he was like a tool and die, and then he just decided he's like, I want to be a helicopter pilot. I don't want to do this anymore. So he went and became a helicopter pilot. And I was like, I went to his thing, and anyways, these two kids, they were like 18 and 19, from his program in his college. They graduated with him. And like the next day, the two of them went out in a helicopter to like celebrate.
God.
And it was snowing, and they fucking crashed. Both died.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, dude. That's the exponential trade-off for helicopters and airplanes. Is helicopters are way more fun, but they'll get you killed way faster, and airplanes are less fun, but you have a much higher
like way bigger margin of error. I imagine, like I think
time, dude.
Yeah, if your engine just dies in a helicopter, you're dead. There's no gliding.
Well, no, that's not true. No, you do what's called auto rotation. Basically, you turn the overhead rotor the main rotor into a sort of a parachute.
Oh, okay.
You use physics to kind of bring the thing down slowly, and you can actually safely land the helicopter in auto rotation, but it's very challenging, and you have to be like, you have to have a good glide path to your touchdown zone, and you know, in a helicopter, that glide path could be like a 1-to-1 angle. It could be like a literal 45-degree or less. So whereas with an airplane, like what I fly has like a 45-to-1 glide ratio. It's fucking crazy. So you got plenty of time. But yeah, I mean, dude, what makes helicopters so inherently dangerous is that a lot of people don't realize, but they literally vibrate themselves to fucking pieces. And the lifespan of an helicopter airframe is insanely fucking short.
Oh,
like
really?
you have to completely overhaul them. And yeah, you have to overhaul them after a couple of years, and then they eventually completely expire. Whereas like with airplanes, like big commercial airplanes, they only expire because of the compression and decompression schedule, like how much you pressurize them, and then like for takeoff and landing and stuff like that. Whereas like recreational airplanes, I mean, dude, there's still fucking airplanes flying from World War I. You know what I mean? Like they just don't expire as long as
I still will occasionally fly on a commercial flight, and it has the ashtrays welded shut. Like it's rare now, but it's still occasionally we're like maybe like. It's rare, but you'll get on a flight and you're like, there's ashtrays and they're just welded shut.
Yeah, Delta flies a lot of those old airplanes that the reason they have the ashtray on them is because the type certificate from the manufacturer is unchangeable. And so like Boeing will still produce airplanes on the original 737 type certificate that has ashtrays in it for the pilot.
Oh, so these aren't necessarily old planes. They have to design them with an ashtray?
They have to keep it identical to the original type certificate. There's like little things they can change and stuff over time, but like there's certain features that like are unchangeable, and for whatever reason, that's one of them. Like in the flight deck, I have a little ashtray. So usually we obviously can't smoke, but we'll like write notes to each other, like to whoever the next pilot is, and just leave it in there. And like some guy 20 flights down the line will read it, and it's just like loser, or, like
right.
Apparently, I'm not allowed to say the F slur anymore.
No.
What is that?
No, YouTube's getting way less cool.
That's
YouTube's
what we usually write on those little pieces of paper.
Yeah. YouTube's heyday of being cool is kind of coming to an end.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got patched in when I did, because I just barely caught that on the thing, and I was like, oh. Well, that's probably good to know, because I mainly called in to call Dylan. Primarily called in to call Dylan the F slur.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to call him that. No, that's not really why I called in, but I thought I would add that on there. Well, but while I'm on the topic of Dylan, yeah, well, good, dude. He deserves to be angry because he's not so bright. Last week I listened to the show, and he got fucking bent out of shape about.
Sounds like Dylan.
This. He's like, oh yeah, that fucking retarded guy, that pilot guy, fucking, and he just went on, and I was like, what is he going on about? And he was bent because apparently he thought I was saying he was wrong about the FADEC thing, and if he actually would listen to the original podcast or recording when I called in my first time, I wasn't saying he was wrong about anything, but he's too retarded to hear that message because he's too fucking reactive and easily emotionally manipulated. And so what I was actually saying was that I had missed the original FADEC conversation, and I was interested to know what episode it was on so that I could go back and listen.
Yeah. I think it was a couple months ago. It was whenever there was that plane crash. Yeah, there was like two planes.
Yeah. I could never find the episode, and I lost interest anyway. So I don't really think there's any reason for you to like go patching us into each other, unless you want to hear us shit talk to each other.
No,
fine, but,
I feel like it'll just be a lot of shouting and not really entertaining.
It could be, but yeah, what I was saying he was wrong about was his perspective and opinions on like veterans and military servicemen, because that shit was pretty retarded. But I mean, that's from what I've gathered, he's that's very par for the course for a troglodyte such as himself. But but anyway, that's not even why I called in.
Why'd you call in?
Why I called in this week? I called in because I wanted to talk about something a little more profound than all that stupid shit. Because couple of years ago, I had, let's see, it was January of 2024. I had a really serious life-altering event that took place in the flight deck. I was flying 180 something people from Seattle down to LA, I think it was. Okay. And I had a pilot incapacitation event like in the flight deck. I thought I was having a heart attack, and I was only 40 at the time, dude. And the captain didn't even know that I was having a medical issue, and because he was just focused on other things. And I was in my seat, basically unable to even like notify him that I was having a serious medical event. And it turned into thinking I was having a heart attack to I thought I was having a stroke, because I was like super confused as to what I was doing in the flight deck. And I was like, what am I doing up here? I'm not supposed to be up here. Like I shouldn't be in here. What is all this stuff on the screen? And then I remember looking at my uniform, like my epaulets on my shoulder. And I was like, wait, you're a fucking pilot? I was like, dude, that's fucking sick, dude. I was like,
this is not what anybody wants to hear from a commercial pilot.
I know, dude. I know. I know. Dude, believe me, dude, it was as terrifying for me as it is for people hearing this fucking story.
And so what happened?
But,
do you know what it was?
So
did Ari Shafir dose you?
I snapped out. What's that?
Did Ari Shafir dose you with something? Sounds like you were on drugs.
No, I wasn't. What I was having, and I found out when I got on the ground, I ended up snapping out of it. And the captain was like, dude, what the fuck's going on with you? Why are you so sweaty, bro? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm in a load of pain right now, but it's like, it's going away and getting better. And so he's like, well, hey, man, if we need to divert into San Francisco, we can. It's right there. And I was like, no, let's just continue on to LA. And so we did. And
you don't
I went to the emergency room and found out that
you don't need both of you to land the plane, right? Like, can one of you?
For that category of aircraft, 737, it's required 2 people. But if you have a pilot incapacitation event, you really only need one if the one pilot remaining is super experienced. A lot of times what we'll do is if there's another pilot in the back of the airplane who's qualified in that aircraft, we'll call them up and perform those duties. But generally speaking, it would be a handful. It would be like really intense, heavy workload for a guy to handle it on his own. Because the flight deck's also really big. There's a lot of switches that aren't really in reach of everybody. Like, for example, if the captain died in his seat, me being a first officer, I would be able to land the airplane safely, but I would have to bring it to a stop on the runway, because then I would have to get out of my seat, pull his dead body out of his seat, crawl into his seat, and use the tiller, which is the steering mechanism, just to steer the airplane off the runway. And so realistically, what we'd probably do is just have emergency aircraft.
Yeah, you'd have emergency,
but you can land the runway and then shut the run.
Right.
Yeah. You could land it, but I thought
always just says, everyone says these planes just land themselves. Is that not true?
Well, yeah, auto land is a feature, but it's not like what people think it is. It's not like a simple button you push and the airplane just comes in for a landing. It's like, it is a very complex, highly nuanced procedure that takes like the better part of like 25 minutes to even configure the airplane for. And that's with 2 guys doing it. And then when I'm on a flight, criteria.
Yeah, when I'm on a flight and it lands, they're not using auto land. They're just doing it.
They're doing that.
Okay. And is that explained?
Unless they need
difference?
To do auto land for.
Yeah. Because like today, my landing, I flew in from Portland, Maine this afternoon. And today it felt like it felt like the nose was like really high when we landed compared to normally, and it felt like we landed like faster than normal. Is that just kind of variance?
No, that would not be an auto land flight attitude. That would probably be just like your pilot is a woman and doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I flew Endeavor Air, I think, from Atlanta to Cleveland, and I was like, oh boy.
Well, there's your first problem, dude. You're on Endeavor Air, you fucking taking your life in your own hands.
Well, that's the thing. They don't even tell you that you're flying Endeavor Air. It's such a scam. I booked it on Delta. I'm like, I'm flying Delta, and then you get to the airport, and you're like, no, you're flying Endeavor. I'm like, I didn't sign up for that.
Well, no, it's not a scam, dude. The way it works is like it's small airports like Portland, Maine. You can't like land big gigantic jets there. The big jets are the ones that go from the main hubs to the main hubs, but you have feeder airplanes that go from small airports to bring the people to the big hubs to go to their final destination. Yeah.
There's just not enough demand.
Yeah, exactly. That's Endeavor or like Horizon or one of those SkyWest companies. Those are what's called a regional airline, and the big companies own those airlines, sort of, or at least contract through them, and that's why you get put on a little one to go to a big airport, and then from your big airport you can go to Europe or wherever else. But
yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, dude. Yeah. So what we ended up going all the way to.
What was the
issue?
issue?
We went to LA, dude. I went to the emergency room and found out that I had a bad heart valve from birth that was never diagnosed. And and it caused what's called an aortic aneurysm. So my aorta had this massive like bulge in it that was getting ready to burst. Whoa. And I always thought aneurysms were just in the brain, your brain fucking explodes and then you die. But like what an aneurysm is in reality is a blood vessel that's dilated. And dissection is when the thing blows apart. And when you have an aortic aneurysm that dissects, all the blood in your body empties itself into your chest cavity in like 20 seconds, dude. So you have like 20 seconds of useful consciousness and you're dead within a minute. Yeah. And most guys don't even get a warning. Like the first time they feel it in their chest, they fucking die. And for whatever, it's a widowmaker, dude. It's fucking bad. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was able to get a second chance, but it's super rare that anybody lives through that first event, that first medical, significantly identifiable thing. And I guess the reason why I felt like kind of compelled to tell the story was because I was listening back to some of your old episodes, and I've heard some of the guys talking about like really low points in their lives and being suicidal and shit like that, And I've been there. I've been there also in my life, where not necessarily like suicidal necessarily, but like really fucking like intensely dark fucking places, dude. Dark places that drive you to like think certain ways or engage in certain super destructive behaviors that like can literally dismantle your life and make them unmanageable, and I found myself at that place more than once in my own life, and partly because life as an airline pilot is uniquely lonely. I mean, like you're living in a it's brutal, dude. I mean, you're living in a
I fly like, dude, I've flown 3 times. Like I've been in 3 states in the last, 4 days. I'm just like that. People don't get it with comedy is that is by far the worst part is just the travel. And you're probably doing that.
Dude, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about that with you and how like you and Ryan travel across the country all the time. You're always in different time zones. And I was like, and you're on East Coast time. So when you do a show in like Seattle, you're like up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You know what? I'm performing, dude.
Luckily, I'm like a good sleeper, so I don't. That doesn't like the. I don't really get jet lagged like in the country. Like if I go like to Europe or something, I get like brutally jet lagged. But I don't really like. I usually am able to like just deal with it. Like I don't get it too bad. But if I ever go to like anywhere outside of like the 3-hour time zone, it does fuck me up. But it sucks.
Well,
I mean,
dude,
I was just gonna say, the trope where like some fucking band is like, they say they're in the wrong city. Like they're like, "How's it going?" and they say the wrong city. Yeah. Like, I've definitely like been close to doing that, where I'm just like, "Where am I again?"
Yeah, dude, I have done that. Like when I tour, I'm in a touring heavy metal band also, and when I'm on tour, dude. You're every single night, dude, you're playing a show and then you get in the van at 3 o'clock in the morning and you drive to your next fucking city and you take turns doing that all week or all month long. And it's so fatiguing, dude, that you like literally don't even know what fucking town or city you're in.
I don't know where I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it's humiliating, dude. When you get up there and everybody's so stoked.
I've yet to actually make the mistake, but I feel like, because before I go on stage, I'll just be like, "Where am I again?" I go, "Okay." I nailed it down. All right, man. I gotta let you go. I got a million other callers, but thank you.
Right,
did you have surgery?
The last
did
thing
you have
I
to have
want
surgery?
Yeah, dude. So that was the whole thing I wanted to bring up. I'll keep it brief because I know you got other callers. But basically, what I wanted to say was I ended up having open heart surgery, dude. And I was 40 at the time. And the fucking recovery from that was an unbelievable hell on earth that I did not know could exist for a person, dude. I don't wish that shit on my worst fucking enemy. And
what is it, like months? Months and months?
It was the worst part of it was a month and a half. I don't think I woke up even one morning thankful to be alive. I just wanted to be fucking dead every day.
Wow.
And the only reason I made it through as quickly as I did in the recovery was because my girlfriend at the time, who I had been dating for like 3 years, but no, I've known her for 10 years now. She cared for me, dude, day in and day out, through every fucking nightmarish fucking moment, every fucking hellish fucking
showering
second.
you,
and she basically
all that stuff.
Getting me, dude. She was the only reason I didn't shit and piss on myself all night long, every fucking night, dude. And then like the withdrawals from the fentanyl and the morphine and everything else they had me on, the Dilaudid fucking heroin.
Yeah, like
she was there for me through all of it, dude. And she's the only reason I recovered as quickly and as effectively as I did. And I was like, I'm never getting fucking married. I'm never going to fucking do any of that bullshit. Like, women have just shit on me too many times and I don't have the fucking patience or tolerance for it. And then that fucking happened. And I guess what I'm saying is, like, for some people, you need a swift kick in the fucking nuts from life or reality or whatever. And other people can come to it on their own. But I guess my point is that, if you choose to like, if you like make an active choice to like try, I don't know how to really say this, but maybe I should have thought about this
kind
a
of
little
just
bit
like
more
a mindset thing. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Well, I guess I guess what I'm getting at is that, like, even more than gratitude, like, life has become immeasurably beautiful for me. Like, ever since I went through this like brutal fucking crucible, dude.
You're great. Yeah, you're grateful.
Not only, I'm grateful, but like there's something more. Like, there's like, when, I don't know, man, like I don't even know really how to formulate the thought, but there's something bigger at work. And I think that when you're willing to go through whatever it takes to make it to the other side, whatever that looks like, whether it's addiction or just depression or loneliness, or you're willing to go through hell and do the work.
Yeah.
Like, what can be achieved on the other side is intensely profound, dude. And I ended up marrying that girl.
Yeah.
She totally earned it, dude. I mean, she literally put her entire career on hold for me for like 2 months and was told her boss he can fuck off and fire her if he needs to, but she's taking care of her boyfriend. She wasn't even my fucking fiance yet.
Yeah.
And we just had our first kid, dude.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah. Thank you, man. So now I got this like beautiful 4-month-old at home, and he's just the most incredible fucking thing I've ever experienced, dude. Like, all the shit that I wanted to do in my life, I've done it all. And all these things, I went to Mount Everest a couple of years ago. I did all this stuff, and like, I don't give a shit about any of that fucking bullshit, dude. All I fucking care about is just like trying to be a good father to him, and
it's good.
And my life is exponentially better, dude. Yeah. Right. So anyway, I just wanted to tell some of the guys out there that, you know, there's a light on the other side, dude. But keep going, dude. Don't fucking give up. It's
all right.
Retarded. So
thanks, man.
All right, bro.
David, everybody. Yeah, like, who is it? Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Let's go to PK. Oh, we got a lot of patrons calling in. That's what I like to see. And Dylan, sorry, I missed some super chats here. Dylan says, you will never know, idiot. And then 30,000 feet elevation, realizing you're trans. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. PK, the American Cowboy. Happy Flag Week.
True, you know it, buddy.
Big Flag Week. I didn't know it was. Danny? You know what? I had heard of Flag Day. Didn't know it was a whole week though.
Yeah. Well, so for the month of June, you know, they're doing all this Faget stuff.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, the month of June is dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's it's so funny.
I mean,
that
I will
they're,
say, so
trying
there
to
was a
subvert
base.
all that.
There was you see how like they've MLB does like all the pride stuff, and then they have like the rainbow hats and everything, and then there's like some Christian players. There was one guy, I think he was on San Francisco, and he like wrote some passage, some Bible passage or whatever on his hat, and like Blake Trinan on the Dodgers, he wouldn't wear the hat. It is funny to me because it's like pride is like an actual sin. And then to make like actual Christians being like,
sin.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And it's like to make Christians being like, you have to celebrate pride. And they're like, no, that's bad. And they're like, well, no, it's like homophobic.
Well,
And they're like, no, pride is bad though. Like it's like kind of one of the main ones.
Improper pride is bad.
Sure.
That's what it is.
Well, this because, I would chalk this up, the homosexual stuff, to improper pride. Especially if you're not into that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, to be wallowing in your hedonism and your filth, right? Like,
you're
just like, God, you sick fuck. What is wrong with you?
Hey, man.
Ugh. But
so whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
Right. Well, I just wanted to call because I called like 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about the downfall of American culture and the export of horrible American culture, right?
Yep.
And I was looking at I was on my IG scrolling, and then you guys had a clip of when I was talking on IG, and then
the YNs in the park.
Comments were yeah, that one. And then so I was reading through the comments, and then the comments were like, we got a bigger problem here, and the Jews, and it's just like, I get it. As much as the next real man, I don't like them either, but guess what? Globally, we can't fucking do anything about those motherfuckers yet.
No.
So, and we got to fight this fight closer to our community. And guess who are the people or the cultures that are ruining your community?
Did you see Austin Metcalf's father refer to Karmelo Anthony watermelon felon? You could tell that was just coming from like a real place of anger, because he tried to turn the other cheek, and like he did the whole forgiveness thing. And then there was a photo. I guess this happened. I guess this happened since last week's episode. But Karmelo Anthony got 35 years, convicted of murder, 35 years, but there was like black people pissing on his grave. Did you see that? Like posting photos of literally pissing on his grave.
And well, these fucking Kool-Aid kleptos, fucking, they just can't comprehend that they're putting these stupid fucking like prison rules or whatever on regular people. And it's just so insane.
It's a lot of honor culture stuff. I mean, since last episode, there was a headphone dodger in the Bronx killed. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of this. We talked about this on the Boys Cast, but a headphone dodger in the Bronx killed a black man, by the way, killed a black man who had 7 kids. I tried to get a hold of the guy's brother. I found his brother on Instagram, and I messaged him about a GoFundMe.
The guy that got murdered?
The guy who got murdered, I found his brother, and I DM'd his brother for a GoFundMe because I couldn't find one. He never got back to me. I mean, obviously, I'm sure his family's going through all this shit, and maybe that's not his priority. And they're also suing they're suing the MTA. So maybe they're like, we're going for a fucking serious bag. We're not going for like GoFundMe money. But I tried to get a hold of his brother. He never got back to me. Someone tagged me in, the guy's name is Jonathan Pettigrew. Someone tagged me in what was potentially a GoFundMe, but I couldn't get to the bottom of if it's like real or not. So, I'm still working on it.
Yeah. And I mean, just to contrast this, right? Like, you see the Japanese nationals come and watch the World Cup, and
cleaning up.
When they're done, they're cleaning up the fucking stadium, and then you see freaking New York. These motherfuckers win the Stanley Cup, or what is it?
The NBA Finals.
Not the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry.
NBA Finals.
The finals, and it's just like the whole of New York City just start going ape shit, and then freaking they
look.
burn
I
it
will
so
say
much,
though,
they destroy places.
so in 2009, the Vancouver Canucks made it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I think they were up 3-2 in the series, and I think they were winning that game. They ended up losing to the Bruins, and they lost Stanley Cup Finals, and Vancouver just fucking rioted. Like, it was crazy. Like, people were like torching cop cars. They were like literally like putting a fucking gasoline soaked, like putting rags in cop car gas tanks and like lighting them on fire and stuff. All just like on camera. Like, people were so stupid. Those are all white people. So there are these just weird mob dynamics that happen when stuff like this happens.
For sure, but they lost.
Yeah,
these
they
motherfuckers won.
Yeah, they
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I mean, look, I lived in Toronto. Like, I lived in Toronto when they won the NBA Finals 2019. There was after they won, Toronto is equally as diverse of a city. There was none of that. There was none of that shit. The closest thing that happened was at the parade. Somebody, a person of color kind of shot somebody. That was about it.
Just kind of shot somebody. That's something to just go off.
That was about it. But it was like 1 million people there, and that was like the only incident.
So and I'm just saying, like, that's just insane. Like, all this, I don't like any of that culture. Like, it's just so insane to have that. And if you've ever read Black Rednecks, White Liberals.
Yeah, of course. It's honor. It's honor culture. It's a lot of this can be kind of from like the Scottish Highlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brought back from the Scottish Highlands of these fucking hillbillies. These rednecks, and then imparted into black slaves who have carried on this culture, which is certainly an interesting theory. And it does make sense. A lot of this is like honor-based stuff sometimes. Like, where you go like, just to bring it back, it's not the idea of honor, it's pride.
Yes.
And it's just so fucking hilarious that fucking this pride, motherfucker, all this homosexual activity and stuff. It's just the downfall of Western civilization. And then you got freaking over in Belfast, this freaking Sudanese guy trying to behead a guy with a steak knife.
Yeah, and what did they say? They were like, he tried to stab him. They were like, in the news, they were like, they tried to stab him. They're like, the guy's like cutting off a guy's fucking head.
He stabbed him twice in both eyes, I think, and tried to cut out his eyeballs also.
Yeah.
And so I saw the video when it came out, and it was fucking nuts.
Yeah,
like,
I wasn't gonna watch that one.
Demon out here.
Yeah,
man,
I mean, look, there is a, like, I understand when people who are like the, anti-migration people, and they're just like, crime from American citizens, like, you're not going to get that down to zero, but theoretically, we don't need migrants, I guess is the.
You can stop migrant crime,
Right.
You can literally stop that type of crime. And so I don't know, man. And I think
it's pretty wild. I mean, I was looking in Northern Ireland and stuff. It seems like kind of like I went and Googled it because I saw Goob actually mentioned at the beginning of the show in the comments, and then I went and looked, and like it seems like they're not even, they get like 2 days of being angry, and they're just, the whites aren't able to sustain this stuff. Like, there was a giant pro-immigration rally in Belfast. Like that's what I always think with this stuff when everybody's like, like, we got to get the immigrants out, and you're like, you're still just like a minority in this whole thing, no pun intended, but like most fucking white people are like, we love immigrants, they're the best.
And it's just so fucking,
like you literally need them to have individual, you need them to like individually have something bad happen to them by a migrant in order for them to change their mind. Like, it has to like hit so close to home.
It's not even that, because fucking who the fuck was it? One of these fucking fathers, their kid got fucking done wrong by some fucking Bindu or something.
Yeah.
And he's and they still said like, oh no, it's not about race, and it's just like, dude, calm down with that shit, buddy. Like, I get it. You got some black friends. Sure, whatever. You probably got some Mexican friends. Guess what? That doesn't mean anything fucking to these fucking people. Hey, I got plenty of fucking black friends, Asian friends, fucking all that shit.
Sure.
Fucking, I got plenty of friends out of all the spectrum.
I mean, there's that. Have you seen
Coalition.
that pastor in Harlem? That old black guy? His like clips are going viral.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Dude, he goes so fucking hard, man. He's like just
I love it.
like he would make fucking Slav blush. The shit he says, like he goes so hard.
But I mean, but that's the thing, right? He actually cares about
he cares
the black community, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't know,
cares,
like, you know,
these other motherfuckers.
You know, I think we act like there's this easy solution to this stuff, and there's not. I don't.
No, there isn't. I mean, for me, it'd be easy.
Yeah, I mean, the easy thing is
like,
you move away from, like, you move to somewhere where they're not. And then I know some people are like, well, then they come.
Send them to Liberia.
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying that's not, I'm talking about, you know, practical real life solutions. And I know then some people are like, well, then they come to where you live, and then you're like, well, then you got to make more money. Think of it as a motivating factor, because there is a level of wealth where you can absolutely get away from any riffraff. It does exist. Now, obviously, in New York, people like are billionaires and they live next door to people like this, and they're just like, they choose to. But there is a level of wealth where I could.
They got a guard at their door, you know.
Yeah, but there's a level of wealth where it's like you could move somewhere and literally never see a poor person ever again, if you want.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You
just have to use this. You have to use your racism as a motivating factor, and just work harder.
I mean, I don't know. You know, the American founders, after, you know, they fought the Civil War and all that stuff, and then they purchased land in Africa and sent back the folks that frickin' didn't want to be part of America, sent them to, you know, hey, you get a ride back to Liberia. And within, like, I think, like, less than 2 decades, they stripped the Constitution. It was basically the same exact Constitution. They stripped it, no more guns, none of that, and then it just turned into a shithole.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. And the only difference is, you know, relatively, I would think skin deep, but it's more mentality.
Yeah, it's more mentality. Anything, you know? It's aptitude, certain aptitudes, you know, like, yeah.
And then, what else? Well, yeah. And then, so, you know, this whole, I just was reading this thing about how some African scientists, they were doing an IQ study to debunk the IQ thing.
Yeah.
And they did it through multiple countries in sub-Sahara Africa. And you know what they found? They did this test, and they found that only 3% of the group that they took this IQ test. Only 3% scored above 100 IQ. And then about 20-30% scored above 90 or 80.
Okay.
And then the next biggest group scored just at 70.
That would make sense.
It's just like, oh man, you just can't make this stuff up, man.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, look, these are places where
legally
probably
retarded.
Yeah, I mean, look, these are places where they're so poor that. Although I'd like to see this comparison with, I don't know if there's places that are like equally as poor, but like some sort of economic comparison, you know, because look, like I've been to Laos, your mother country, I guess.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that, and it's fucking poor there, but really poor, like insane levels of poverty. But everybody seemed pretty. I don't remember specifically thinking like I'm talking to like a retard right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, what's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
I don't know.
I mean, I know the difference, but yeah.
All right, PK. Yeah, go ahead. I got it.
Danny, hold on. What? Dude, I sent you a message on IG, and then freaking to try to get you those pictures, man. What's up?
What's your account? I maybe missed it.
Oh,
don't say it.
It's going to be...
Is it easily,
I mean,
is it your name or is it easily...
No, it's not my name.
Hold on. Well, do you want to share your Instagram handle just so I can find it? Because I have so many, dude, I just get so many requests. It's like, it would be hard to find.
It's at the numbers 10 BOKAPK. Yeah.
I'm looking. You sent this to me on Insta. Oh, here we. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got it. All right, I got it.
Yeah.
I'll respond to you. You can send me the photos.
Yeah, for sure. And then, just keep your wits about you, Danny. You're in New York, you know.
It's fine here.
Watermelon felons, these Kool-Aid kleptos, you know.
I will say the crime here is overstated. It's there is certain mental health problems. There are definitely people with a lot of mental health people just running amok. But in terms of actual crime, I'm like, it's fine. All right, PK, good talking to you, man.
Yeah.
PK, everybody. All right, let's go to some more patrons. We will get to you all. Do not actually, you know what? I'm going to close the phone lines. Phone lines are closed, guys. That's we got enough calls. We have fucking 10 of you already. All right. Tom, are you there? Tom.
Hello.
What's happening?
Danny, can you hear me?
Very well. Loud and clear. What's up, Tom?
Danny, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Another Russian?
I think you're talking to me, right? This is Andre.
Oh, this is Andre. Okay, this makes sense. You were listed as Tom for some reason.
Well, can't do much about it. How are you doing, Danny?
Good. How are you? What's going on?
Doing all right. Life's been good. I happened to listen the recording of the show with my voice, and it felt so weird. So I'm not going to ever. I'll just keep the part when I call in, whenever I listen to it.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk about the Florida gubernatorial election because we have a real shit show happening here.
Is it really a shit show, or is it just Byron Donalds is going to win in a fucking landslide? I haven't heard one thing about James Fishback in a month, at least. I don't know if he's being suppressed.
The thing about Byron Donalds is that there's not a single person who is excited about him younger than, let's say, 70.
Yeah, but doesn't the population of Florida skew pretty old?
Pretty much. So I think he's still going to win. And I don't think it's even close. If you look at prediction markets, that he has like 90% chance. But the craziest thing is that there's not a single person who is excited about him, or at least I'm yet to meet those people. And there's nothing outstanding about him as a candidate. Like the only reason why he has a 9% chance of winning, that's because he's just a crazy Trump loyalist.
Right. Isn't he endorsed by DeSantis?
Oh, no. There was, I'm sure you remember that in 2024, DeSantis ran against Trump, and they don't necessarily like each other since then, but DeSantis didn't really endorse anyone.
Okay.
And it just seems so weird and so sad that such a huge state.
Yeah, it seems like he's
Florida.
been ordained. It is interesting though, looking on Polymarket, Byron Donalds 94% chance to win, at least the Republican primary. James Fishback 5%. James Fishback though has $500,000 in volume on his whatever account versus only 137,000 for Byron Donalds. So a lot of people there's a lot of money pouring.
People are excited about Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are.
The more you read about it, the less.
Yeah. I mean, he just seems like kind of like your classic, Republican. I mean, I've met him before. I drank with him before. He seems just like a normal guy.
Yeah, but DeSantis didn't endorse anyone, and it just seems like very boring.
So what are you going to vote
predictable race.
Who do you want? Do you want Fishback?
The thing about Fishback, this guy is just a crazy populist.
Yeah.
I specifically wrote down the craziest things that he proposed. So let me just talk to you about
50% OnlyFans tax.
50% sin tax on OnlyFans. I'm sure you've heard of it. He wants to shut down every abortion clinic and criminalize miscarriages.
Okay, how do you criminalize a miscarriage? Aren't they involuntary?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard some stuff from him where I'm like, you're just saying shit, but this hasn't really been fully thought out.
He just says shit to get people excited, and some people are excited, but it's just we don't deserve to have a choice between those two people. We deserve better.
You deserve better.
Then lately, there's been a lot of black teen riots, takeovers of the beaches and public spaces. So he proposed sending armed civilians with AR-15s to, confront them.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure that got some people excited, and that's my favorite one because once again, this is from higher education. He wanted to raise the foreign student tuition to $1 million per year, as well as fire every H-1B visa worker. So the guy's creative. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these things don't necessarily make sense in practice. They
none of it makes sense.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like again the OnlyFans thing. Like if he's such a Puritan with the whole OnlyFans thing, where you're like, okay, well, obviously they're all just going to leave and take all that tax money into a different state. And if you're like, well, we just don't want them in the state, you're like, okay, well then fine, but they're still going to make all the content they make. They're just going to make it in a different state.
Danny, the second you think about his proposals and try to digest him, you'll realize it makes absolutely no sense, none of them. And Democrats have proposed some guy who no one really cares about. They typically either nominate former Republicans and they lose, or they nominate black guys who then are found in a hotel room with drugs and another fellow, which is what happened in 2018.
Yeah, what was that guy's name?
The guy who ran against DeSantis. Andrew Gollum, something
Dude,
like that.
I went on a fucking date I was in Miami for COVID, during COVID, and I went on a date with this girl, and she had a photo of Gilliam, right? That was his name?
Yeah.
She had a photo of him passed out. I think she had some fucking crazy photos of him on her phone. Doing crazy. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something where I'm like, oh, that's wild. Because wasn't he smoking crack or something?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. Police got called to a hotel room. They found some man unconscious, and that was either a male escort or who knows what. But basically, the guy was doing drugs at a homosexual hookup.
Yeah.
While running for the governor of Florida.
That's tough.
So
yeah, but it was because the photo, I'm trying to think if the photo I'm thinking of was a photo that was publicly released, but I don't think so. But it was him passed out naked, and it was just a photo of him, and she just had it on her phone.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was like, that's a pretty crazy photo to have.
I don't. Make sense. Yeah, I don't know if I would vote for anyone. I may just stay home, which
what do you mean? You're Russian.
Problem for Republicans.
You have don't you love voting? My dad does.
Oh, especially when it's going to decide anything. So perhaps I don't know.
I mean, don't you just relish in the ability to just vote, to participate in the democratic system that was unavailable to much of your family historically?
It does feel nice. I'm not gonna lie. It does feel nice.
Just to do it, and it's not
the privilege
rigged?
of living in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I may vote, I may not. Once again,
you'll see.
Who knows what's going to happen?
You'll see. There's still
right
time.
now, I just don't have any enthusiasm.
Yeah, I mean, look, when somebody's
And
when somebody's a 94% chance, there's definitely the element of you're like, well, what's the point? It's like if I'm not voting for that guy, it's a waste. If I vote for that guy, it's also a waste.
And Florida moved so far to the right that Byron is going to be the next governor, no matter how much of a mediocrity he is.
Especially with the Trump endorsement. All right, Andre, I got to let you go, but it was good talking to you.
All right, no worries.
Later.
Good talking to you, Dan.
Andre, everybody. All right, let's take. You know what? Let's go to Rubestar here. We're getting an update on his. Rubestar did stand up on my show in Cleveland. He did 5-minute sets. Let's chat with him. Rubestar, how you doing?
Super fantastic.
How you feeling after Friday? You got
Man,
the bug. You
Dan,
got the bug
that week. Well,
by the way, for people to know,
so.
Rubestar showed up. He was wearing shorts with these like knee-high leather boots, which was an odd fashion choice. Then you had your little electricity device, and you were zapping yourself to, I guess, make yourself less nervous before the spot.
Well, the past 5 or 7 days, I only had about 5 hours of sleep each night.
Okay, because you were nervous about the show, or just from work?
No, I just. Well, yeah, we're short at work, but what it is you do that electric box, you get more energy, you do more stuff, you sleep less, but you need that sleep. So just everything going on in my life, ending up to that day, I I had to pull over at the side of the road a couple of times and just close my eyes for like however long seemed right just to get there.
Oh, really?
And so when I got there, Danny, the past 2 weeks since June 2nd, I think, has just been something else for me. But that's a whole nother. Anyways, I was running low on juice, so I needed the juice.
All right.
And I should have brought some celery.
You should have brought some celery.
But anyways,
yeah,
what do you think?
The server came and he was like, "Can I get you anything to eat?" And you're like, "Can I have a huge stock of celery, please?" And he's like, "We don't have that." And he brought you out a vegetable tray. And then when you got off stage, you pulled out a pair of like small women's shorts, and you were like, "These are my girlfriend's shorts. Do you want to smell them?"
Well, because you're a hippie, I thought. Grateful Dead and patchouli.
So I'd want to smell some girl's shorts? I will say, Rubestar, I was in the bathroom after the late show, and I overheard some people saying that guy, that Rubes, they didn't get your name right. They called you something else. I think they called you Ronald, but they're like, he has some promise. I heard some people say that.
Yeah. Well, what did you think, though?
I thought you were very nervous. It did come off like you were very, very nervous. There's some tradecraft stuff that I guess you don't know yet. Like, for the second show, like I said, just like, say thank you very much. And then the host will come get you, but you were like waiting for the host, and then it became very awkward. I would have said probably.
When you said come get me, I thought he was going to literally come up and get me. And then
when
you said Trevor was going to come get me, I thought Trevor was going to come up and get me.
No, he doesn't come up and get you. You just say, thanks very much, everybody. I've been Rubestar. And then he comes up. They start applauding. They go, they start clapping. And then he walks up on the stage.
Oh, I didn't have to wait for him to come up?
Well, there's like a rule in comedy where you never want to leave the stage empty. Right? It's just like weird to have an empty stage at any point. So you say thank you and start clapping, and then he'll walk up to the stage and you guys shake hands and you get off and he gets on.
What you do is you fill the time until he gets to the actual position.
I mean, it's like 5 seconds. It's like literally
right. But he could be fumbling around or something. He's on his way, and I'm waiting for him.
He was 10 feet away from you, like waiting for you to finish.
I couldn't see a thing.
You just couldn't see it.
The
bright lights up there, huh?
Man, I don't know how you do it. I guess you're taller than the lights, so they don't bother you as much.
The lights affect me equally the same. I'm like 2 inches taller than you, Rube.
But I was really fascinated with like how the whole thing operates. Like, say for example, Danny, let's say I worked on an hour's worth of material, and then I would have the confidence to do 20 minutes. But if there was like an emergency situation, you got to be able to have another something to pull out of your ass, right?
I mean, I've never experienced any scenario where they were like the headliners.
What happened that night.
Well, yeah, that did happen that night. Where
Andre didn't.
Yeah, the Andre Meyer.
Andre didn't come back.
Yeah, he was supposed
to.
You
had to shift gears.
He was supposed to feature on the second show. He hosted on the first one. Then the second show, he's like, I won't make it in time because he was like at work or something. And then he's like, can I feature instead? And I was like, sure. So he would go on later in the show. And then he's like, I'm not going to be able to make it. So, yeah, we had to kind of wing it where Trevor just went back up and did more time. Yeah, but that's
you know
to
what?
be honest, a rare thing.
Okay, but it could happen anyways.
It could happen, yeah. I mean, I've had definitely times where you're on stage and like for whatever reason the comic who's supposed to be after you is nowhere to be found. Not on like a show like that, but on like a club show, and then they're just like keep going until we get this guy, or they're late and they're just like keep going.
Well, I would say the calmest moment I had that night was when you were fucking with me and you go, Rube, I need you to give me 20 minutes. And I was like, Danny, I got this. I'm like, it's story time, baby.
Yeah.
It's story time.
I mean, I think you should have done stories. I think you're
well,
like
but that's not what I practiced.
I know exactly. And you want to go with what you're going to be most comfortable with. I agree with that. But I think your comedy would be better if you're telling Rube stories. Like you opened with like a song, a song which people were just confused about, and then you have these like Star Wars references that were like a little too inside. I think like I didn't get any of them.
My friends showed up, got it.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's the other thing, Danny, is all my friends said they were coming to the 9 o'clock show, and I had all this confidence. 9 o'clock, none of them are there. So
welcome to comedy,
so it's just
pal.
like the bottom just dropped out of me for that second show. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. Those shows, so that club is on, like, this kind of Cleveland's, like, Bourbon Street. So there's just a lot of, that's the thing, there was a lot of, like, walk-ins, just people, like, literally just like, let's go see a comedy show tonight.
Yeah, you're advertised on the street. You're right across from the House of Blues.
Yeah, but
There's
so it's a lot of those people are, like,
playing.
don't know who I am. They don't know who anybody is. So you're getting
going.
But so that's like would be considered like the toughest type of audience. Like the easiest type of audience is if everybody's there to see you. The hardest audience is like if nobody knows who you are, and then you're like, because you got to like almost you're feeling them out a little bit, seeing like, oh, do they like this? Do they not like this? Like the earlier show was older. Like I was saying, you and Trevor, like I wasn't swearing as much for the earlier show. I was, I had certain bits where I'm just like, I know they're going to hate this. This is too much for them. I just didn't do them. But that's stuff you learn over time.
I felt like I did really good after Andre because he was doing all those hard racial jokes.
Yeah.
And then I come up singing, and then I give the legal disclaimer to tell people that I'm black before I tell this next joke or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You got some laughs.
I kind of felt like that.
You got some laughs.
Danny, well, I felt like I really let you down big time. So it was
certainly
like,
room for improvement, but you got some laughs. I mean, you didn't get 0 laughs.
But I was in the bathroom, and this dude was laughing, washing his hands. He's like, man, you were great.
Yeah.
My wife and I, you were killing us.
There you go.
So they might not have been laughing loud, but they were giggling.
I mean, you got laughs, which is, really once you get some laughs, I will say this. Once you get some laughs, you're like, okay, I know I can get some laughs. So how do I just get more laughs? Whereas if you got 0 laughs, you're like, well, I didn't even get 1 laugh. So
also, well, in some aspects, it's like, how does Andre have a career, And, but then on the other aspect, he's like, but Danny, he's 1,000 times better than me. He could stand up there. He could take the heat. He could pace. If I had let every line breathe like 10 seconds, I would have filled up that 5 minutes, no problem.
Yeah.
He's
comedy is
taking
really
bullets
hard
from the fucking crowd like it's nothing.
Yeah, comedy is very hard. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, he's got way more reps than you. He's got way more experience.
Yeah, it pays. I mean, it'll pay off for me. Obviously,
of course,
is how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, look, it wasn't a negative experience. It was certainly a positive.
What'd you think of Woody, my co-host for the Rube House, coming back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock?
Check him out, Incel Media, on the Patreon. I liked him. It was a good hang.
Oh, he and I just naturally clicked.
Yeah. You guys have a good thing going. For people who check out the Rube House, Tuesday nights at 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's gonna be real low value tomorrow. Then we're gonna upgrade hopefully after that.
Yeah, you have a bad internet situation.
One last shitty show.
Yeah.
All right,
sorry.
All right, thank you, Danny.
Oh, you can say one last thing if you want. Did he hang up? Oh, he's gone. I just wanted to rib everybody. 300-1416 says cheers, Dave. That's for the pilot. And Howling Labubu gave a $10 super chat. SpaceX. Oh yeah, Abdul with 2 L's is in the. He's in the our Patreon investor. It's not an investment. Stream or chat or whatever. And Abdul's cashing in on the SpaceX. It's up 20% today. Abdul's a bit of a moon man, I guess you could say. All right, we're gonna take some more calls. Phone lines are closed. I'm gonna get to you all. We have how many we got? 9 more callers. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
What is up, Danny? It's Jacob.
Jacob, what's happening, man?
Oh, not too much. The first time I called in, I was a bit way too enthusiastic, but not gonna lie, I'm talking to Danny Polishchuk here. Come on, world star comedian.
Hey.
But the next, what's that?
I said, hey, yeah. You're from Minnesota,
the next
right?
time I called in, yeah, I'm the Fargo character.
Fargo, yeah. Brainerd.
But yes, sir. But so the second time I called in, you were like, "Hey, man, people really liked your whole spiel and stuff," and I went, "What? What are you talking about?" I literally, you lied to me.
I lied to you? They did. I'm telling you.
No. Okay. But the first thing I saw in the live chat, so here's what I saw. The first thing is I'll summarize it. Apparently, I am a gay, autistic serial killer who prays before he eats dinner.
Hey, man, there's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of different opinions. A lot of different opinions.
Yeah. I was dying laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, okay, these guys are roasting me." Gotcha, as per usual.
Yeah, you're gonna. There's some haters who watch the show. They're not gonna like you, but you're not gonna. Here's the thing.
The best one.
When you put yourself out there, not everybody is gonna like you. That's just
exactly. It was like, this is why Joe Rogan says don't read the comments.
Yeah, don't read the comments.
The best one though, after like the biggest roasts. At the very bottom, there was this one guy who was like, "Man, I really hope that nice guy doesn't go back and look at the live chat." I was like, "I already beat you to it, man."
Yeah. There is. That's the thing. Is like when you put yourself out there is this pull, this magnetic pull to be like, what are people? saying?
It's like,
what are
let's
people
throw
saying?
Tomatoes at that guy.
Yeah, but you want to know. You're like, do they like me? Do they not like me? And you're like, even though you're like, probably it's best to just not look. You're like. You can't help it. You're just like have to go.
But when you said like, "Oh yeah, people like you," and then the first things I was reading was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. I was just gently roasting you, man. I thought that'd be funny to mention.
Yeah.
But you saw those after that. So after the Knicks won.
Yep.
I'm gonna do a little research here.
Okay.
Writing pen and pad. Now, were you in the New York area during that time of the aftermath?
I was, unfortunately, and I regret this, but I was at home because I had a super early flight yesterday morning because there's not a lot of direct flights to Portland. So I had a super early flight. I had to be up at, I think, 7 or something. So, and I was concerned that if I got stuck in the city, because I live in Queens, I was worried that if I was in the city, it would be very difficult to get home at a normal time. So I also in my mind thought that the Knicks would lose that game and they would win game 6. So I was like, whatever. It's not going to happen tonight. It's going to happen on Tuesday night. So I'm like, I'll go out Tuesday night. But anyways, it happened on Saturday night. I regret it. I wish I would have been out. I wasn't. I got
Okay,
my.
so
I was out when the Raptors won though, so I had my fun. And I'm not a Knicks fan.
Good.
It would have been cool to see.
Yeah, I'm glad you're safe and everything. That looked pretty wild. Now, were you aware of any bus set on fire during that riot?
The bus that was set on fire.
Okay.
Was
So,
like not
Thank
even
you for
exaggerating.
admitting.
100 feet from where I'm sitting right now. That's where the bus was set on fire.
Okay, so you are very close to the vicinity of said school bus, and you were there around that time. Check.
No,
All
I
right,
wasn't
now,
there. I was at home.
I noticed.
My friend was sitting. Did you see the one
right now? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, if you saw the one video of they were smashing the bumper of a school bus, and then this guy tried to get out, being like, "This is coming out of my check" or whatever. A comic I know, was sitting on top of that bus. It was literally, I saw
that is so wild to be that close to the action. Yeah.
Like I saw his Instagram story, and he was sitting on top of that bus as people were destroying it.
Okay, so I saw a video of the school bus that was set on fire, and I noticed that the entire hood was open. Like somebody had maybe taken some parts out of it for scrap or something like that.
They were just
and I just wanted to verify if you were in the vicinity or if any of your brethren might have been nearby.
No, I think if I could say it this way, the vandalism was light on Hebrews and heavy on Black Hebrew Israelites, if that makes sense.
Okay, so not too many car parts being stored in any tunnels anywhere. We're good. Okay, I'll stop the investigation right there.
Thanks, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no. I don't.
I was like, wow, that was very astute of them to take the starter before they set it on fire. I wonder if Danny had any.
No, I'm sure there was some scrap metal that made it to like a Jewish-owned scrap metal yard. But it was they weren't
just trying
the
to make you
ones
giggle,
stealing
man.
it.
Come on.
Yeah. No, I know.
Give it a jab. Just give it a. Okay.
All right,
dude. You and Ryan go back and forth, and Ryan just. Oh man, you and Ryan are so good together. Like you just go back and forth. It's great.
We've been doing it for a long time. That's what it is. I mean, at this point, we've been doing a podcast together for.
Yeah, you and I aren't homies. Like we've never met.
Yeah,
but,
12 years or something.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I love it.
Basically, like almost uninterrupted. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing, you know how like I work at a diner, it's pretty boring, like bullshit stuff. Well, the other day it wasn't so boring.
What happened?
A can of like the can aerosol, like palm olive, like canola oil spray.
Yeah, it exploded.
Yeah. One rolled underneath the grill and nobody noticed, and it sat there for a couple hours, and then kaboom! And it had to be full because I was like 10 feet away, just like I heard it go off, and I watched this just fucking huge, gigantic fireball erupt for like 5 seconds and then just disappear. Wow. And this big explosion, and everybody in the kitchen and everybody around was like, "What the fuck just happened?" No, it was wild. It was really cool to see. Nobody got hurt.
That's good.
But I would say the one bad thing was that the person... Oh, yeah, it scared the shit out of me, and I was 10 feet away. The guy who was like 4 feet away from it, the closest one to it, he might be an Iraq veteran that was in multiple IED attacks and Hummers. So that triggered some major PTSD for him, and everyone went, "Oh, fuck, that's the wrong person to have it happen to." It could have been anybody else working in that position right then in that moment. And it's like, why me, Lord? Damn, dude.
Not great.
Pretty
well,
wild.
Glad you're safe. I got to let you go. Unfortunately, I got so many calls right now.
Yeah, dude. But thanks for catching up and everything. I'm glad you're safe. And after all that, I'm glad you're able to chat it up a little bit. Next time, my friend.
Later. All right. Let's go to... who we got here? Well, let's go to Billy from Philly. Another patron. Again, if you sign up for the Patreon, get priority calling. Hello, Billy from Philly.
Danielson.
How you doing, pal?
What's up, you handsome devil?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Hey, so I'm calling in. Okay, I got my cousin since when I was little. My mom's from Minnesota, and her brother, who he died back in the '80s from pancreas cancer. They moved. He went into the Peace Corps like back in the '50s.
Okay.
And he met her over in Africa, Cameroon, Africa. And he met this broad, and he got married. They had 3 daughters. They're all my first cousins.
Okay.
And they married there in the Peace Corps. Then they grew up. I remember my cousins always, like, they would come to America and we'd visit with them. And they would grow up in Saudi Arabia. And they lived on military bases in Saudi Arabia for like their whole lives. And he was he wasn't in the military, but he was a translator to teach Saudi pilots back in like the 50s their children how to speak and act American so they can integrate with Americans and shit.
That's good.
So they grew up on these military bases. My cousin, her name's Terry.
Yeah.
She's a librarian, right? She's got five kids. And this is all getting put together. One's gay, right?
Okay.
She's got a transgender. She's got one that's transgender. And they say the statistics of that is impossible unless you got a crazy mom.
Mm-hmm.
She's always like, she's kind of flaky. Right before, and then now she lives all over the world. She lived in Seoul, North Korea. She went and moved as a librarian to Venezuela right before Venezuela went nuts. And she came back. She lives full-time in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
With the Mormons. Now she's moving to Ecuador. And I think she was like MK5 Ultra because she would tell me a couple little things when they were growing up on military bases and about her sisters.
Sounds like a spy.
Hanging out with. That's what I think she is, man, posing as a librarian with her goofy-ass husband. And he's like a...
I mean, librarian's not some crazy high-paying job, and also, like the idea, like unless she's going and just like teaching English or something, like how does she make money?
Both. She's she'll teach English, but her main deal in America is a librarian.
Right.
But she just lived in all these places, and then today I saw on Facebook, it said 1977, me and my sister at the old Lockheed compound, like Lockheed Martin.
Interesting.
So I'm like, man, I bet my cousin's I would guess a spy or something, man, and she's like real low key. I don't know. Everything's just so bizarre.
I mean, nobody would ever suspect a librarian.
Right. Because a good friend of mine, he just found his dad died. I don't know if I had told you. He found his dad used to go down over to Asia as a fiber optic installation and technician. He said back in the 80s when fiber optics were big, so he would disappear for like a month at a time selling and installing fiber optics. And then after he died, his son found out he was in the CIA the whole time, like starting all these disturbances. He found all his paperwork, news articles on him. He said and my other friend said when his dad would come home from these like really nice trips, he would be so pissed off and angry, like beating everybody and shit, because he was over there like killing people. He was one of those disruptors. And now he's finding out more and more about his own father. He didn't know. He thought he was going on.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
Schwarzenegger
I watched that show, The Americans. I don't know if you've ever seen it. And it's about those like Russian spies in the United States in the 80s. And after watching that show, I was like, I think there's a tiny chance that my dad is a Russian spy.
It may be. My old boss
he used to travel all over the world. Maybe not a Russian spy. Maybe he's a Canadian spy. But I was like, maybe my dad's a spy.
Who knows, man? They're sworn to secrecy, like in the Freemasons. I mean, I can see how that Freemasonry works. I'm in a fraternity, and it's like you learn the handshake, you got the knock, you can only go into these meetings if you know, and then if you're a brother, you give him preferential treatment no matter what. If one of my Siget brothers comes up and throws and it's just like the Freemasons, but now you're a police officer or a judge. I'm like an iron dude. Yo, if one of my fraternity brothers needs a railing, I'll do a chief of shit for him or his mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Think of you're a judge or a governor. You know.
What fraternity are you in? Are you allowed to disclose that?
Yeah, it's Sigma Phi Epsilon. It's the largest national fraternity in the country, and they're like a pipeline to the Freemasons.
I thought
apparently
fraternities are like for kids.
For college.
Oh, so you were in one in college and you're still in it?
You're in it for life. You're just a member of it.
Oh, okay.
Like
I thought
like
that you
Columbus.
graduated. Oh, okay. I thought you like graduated college and then it was just like that was it. I didn't realize you were in.
No, one of the guys. Yeah, it's funny because today I was talking to one of my. I think he's a cousin of mine. And his son, he goes, I said, oh, how's the kid? He goes, he's going to Westchester. He just joined a fraternity. What fraternity? He goes, Sigma Phi Epsilon. I said, I'm in Sig Ep. He goes, yeah, he wants to be president. I said, I was president. So now I gave him like a little, I said to his son, tell him HFF. And that's like a little thing in our fraternity. I said, so we're brothers too. So if I needed, let's say, help, like I'm stranded in California, I go find my fraternity house. I knock on the door. This is how it's supposed to work. They're supposed to let me stay in for the night. You know, if I'm like totally, they say a brother in need is a brother indeed. So
I'm curious how that
no
works.
No matter what.
Just because, like, you know, what I see about fraternities and having met you in person is like if I was in college and you showed up and be like, can I stay here? I feel like the police would get called.
No way. No, I was different. I was just straight honky and cop. No, but you know, as long as
I'm saying
if
you now show up on a college campus the way you look today, missing.
I do it. I go and talk to them dudes.
Oh, really? And they're all just like cool. It's just like it's still just.
They were, yeah, because back when I was in, it was like the hazing, like fucking, you know, like not beating people up, but nowadays
getting your ass
like
paddled,
more talking and stuff. No physical and no drinking because I didn't drink back then. But it was like severe mental, you know, it's like, I guess like, I'm not going to say it was like the Marines, but it's like that kind of break you down and then bring you up as a bunch of guys. It's like the same thing, you know?
Oh, okay. What kind of stuff did you have to do?
It's like,
what was like the worst?
The worst was Hell Week where you have to walk around campus. Like you got to carry around like 3 cobblestones. They're about 20 pounds apiece. You walk around them all week. They take you out into the Pine Barrens because we're in Philly, and they make you walk around this whole big. They call it the Knights of the Three Fires. They walk you around, and you're supposed to know they ask you all these questions, and everybody fails. And at the end, like you're all standing around, you think you're individuals, and you just feel like the biggest piece of shit. They're like, okay, everyone failed, and you're by yourself, and then they rip your hoods off. You're like, oh, welcome to the brotherhood. And then it's all fun and shit. But It was more mental stuff. Like you think you're getting thrown out. You did all this work. You know, it was just more mental. And then there's a ton of push-ups. It's a lot of physical shit. But they wouldn't hit you or anything.
Nothing gay.
And no gay shit. Nothing gay. There's no ookie gookie cookie. I mean, honest to God, dude, there was none of that shit. There was nothing weirdo crap like that. I'm sure some of them now, like AE Pi was right next door to us. They're the all Jewish fraternity.
Oh.
And we had a Larry Jacobowitz. He joined our fraternity. He should have been in the AE Pi at Alpha Epsilon Pi. And they were right next door. And one time we stole their big fucking letters off of their house. We cut them up into keychains. We hated those motherfuckers. But this was back in '92.
Yeah.
So, but
different time. All right, Billy, I gotta let you go.
Dan, love you. Take it easy.
Good chatting with you, Billy from Philly. Everybody. Okay, we're doing all the Patreon guests. Let's go to Slav. I may not get to everybody who's on hold right now, just because I'm bad at this. But Slav.
Oh, you hear me? Oh,
yes,
hey.
Sir.
So Austin Franco, you're aware of this situation?
I am aware of this. Yes, he was applying for a job with some guy, some like venture capitalist dude, and then he messaged him. He's like, I don't work for Jews, and then and then they basically like the guy put out some tweets about this, and it's blowing up in this like whole thing. And they and now he's doing GoFundMe?
Yeah. So the head of the DOJ, some colored fella,
yeah,
came out and said he will make sure that the Austin fella will be unhirable.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for this kid, to be honest, because, like, to be honest, my read on this was it was stupid to do, but he's also, like, 20, and, like, 20-year-olds do stupid shit, and he's probably, like, watches Nick Fuentes, and he thinks it's funny and all that stuff. And he shouldn't be punished for this for the rest of his life. Like, this should not just be the permanent punishment. I honestly think what should come of this is that someone, assuming, again, I thought he was like some tech guy. He's like wanting to be in like human relations or something, or like communications and human relations. That's what he takes at Cornell, which is like also like crazy to me, because you're like, these are like the messages you sent out. But I'm like, what I think is some Jewish person should hire him, even though, again, it's like he's not like some fucking programmer. I don't even like he's taking some useless thing. But yeah, I don't agree with the whole like, let's punish this guy for the rest of his life. Do you have a picture in front of you? Yeah, he looks exactly like Blind Mike. Doesn't he look exactly like Blind Mike?
Blind Mike is, look, to be like no homo but full homo. No, Blind Mike is a little more handsome.
They look, I mean, I think they look like really similar.
I see where you're getting at, but what I was getting at, I was like, he has since we have to be limited on what terms to use, he has Pharisee traits.
So are you saying this is all a psyop? Because I've seen some people being like, this is all like a scam, and I've seen the.
Oh no! So the response he got, and this whole nationwide thing of we will make sure that you will never have a job. That's on a side. No, that's real. They do that. They even brag about it.
But I saw something where people were basically theorizing that this was a publicity stunt for the company, because this got them like so much publicity for the guy's company.
It can be. It can be.
But it sounds like this kid's a real kid, so you're like, doesn't.
It's but when I am subscribed to the World Jewish Congress and the American Jewish Council channels.
Yeah.
They openly talk about, like, we will make sure that you are unhirable. You are.
I mean, if that kid, me as a Jewish person, if I had a business, you're like, why would I hire this guy? Like, yeah, I'm not hiring this guy. But to say like he can't work for anybody ever, you're like, that's crazy. Like, that's like, again, he's not even 20. He's 19. Like, to say like, yeah, you did something stupid, like some stupid message you sent when you were 19. And you're like, you need to be punished for this for the rest of your life. I do not agree with that. That's like this whole, like, again, this is just cancel culture on the right. This is all this is. This is just right-wing cancel culture. They tried to pretend like they were better than this for, 4 or 5 years. And now you're just like doing the exact same thing.
For 4 or 5, look what they did to Pat Buchanan.
No, but I'm talking about like in the last. I'm talking about like in the last, like, like how, in the cultural stuff where they were like, "Oh, look at the left and all their cancel culture. We're better than this," and then you're like, "You're not." It's a fucking ping pong ball, and it just goes back and forth. And when it's expedient, you say, "Oh yeah, we would never do this," and you're like, "Well, you're doing it now." Like. So, no, I think it was stupid for him as a 19-year-old to do that if you're like trying to get jobs, but I don't think he should be just punished for the rest of his life.
Would this not just, this whole situation, whether it's real or fake, just not prove that it is completely fair for a Gentile to say, I don't want to interact with this certain group?
No, again, you can say whatever you want. You have free speech in this country. You can say whatever you want. it's like if you're trying to work for companies, it's like that's stupid. That's just like you're not. It's not a.
Is it?
It's not wise. Yes, you can do it. It's not like. Look, I'm sure you would be incensed.
It's not about a do or not do thing, but it is the feeling of we just can't trust you guys anymore. Like this is all coming to a head.
Wait, so this was done under some umbrella of confidentiality where they're like, look, if there was a story right now where some Jewish kid was hiring and then he goes, he's like, no, thank you, I wouldn't work for a goy. You'd be fucking pissed off. This would be like your fucking whole identity right now. Was you be like, how dare this Jew say he wouldn't work for a goy?
Well, no, actually, the difference is the Gentile would actually appreciate that statement. It would actually applaud it. For one,
I have a feeling this would be on the internet too.
No. See, this is why you don't think like us. We would actually appreciate the honesty because
I don't think
this
so.
is like the thing. Oh yes, we would. We absolutely won't because you don't understand because you don't think like us. You guys just have different brains.
I mean, it sounds like that's your problem is that you don't think like Jews.
Well, because we don't. Like
a lot of your problems would be solved if you guys were thinking like Jews, but you're thinking like goys.
The thing is, there's a thing called guilt and shame, and we feel like us whites, we actually feel negativity when we engage in such misbehavior. For other groups,
I mean, you talk about this monolith like there weren't like a million white people fucking doing full bore cancel culture 4 years ago. Like that was just that was a uniquely non-white thing.
We don't claim them.
You don't get to claim them. It's not how it works. They're your group, pal.
Well, the thing is, so the difference is, for instance, when we're since we also have to now use different terms, the changing consumer habit group, they just they're born that way. They don't have the capability of understanding of what they're doing is wrong when they do wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
But for you and your ilk, it is literally, as Malcolm X said, water off the duck's back, and you guys are just too smart for your own good. You know that you're wrong.
I mean, again, I don't agree with this whole I don't agree that this guy should be punished for the rest of his life. So if you're trying to get me to co-sign that, I don't agree with that. He's like at the heart of it, it was just like it's a 19-year-old kid who did something stupid. I don't agree with that. It was like if he's trying to be an entrepreneur or you're trying to be a fucking content creator, do whatever the fuck you want. You can say all the crazy shit you want, but there's this kind of blurred line. If this guy's trying to go work at a Fortune 500 company, you're like, yeah, that's a stupid thing to do. I don't know what to tell you. It's not how the world works.
I don't disagree with saying that hey, you knew that kind of response. He knew he would get a negative response.
I don't think he thought
those scale.
Nah, I don't think he thought this was going to be a public thing. I thought he was just going to be like some little snide comment he made for some company, and that was going to be the end of this. I do not think he thought that this is what. I mean, first off, if he thought this is what was going to happen, then he wouldn't have done it because it's not like this is going well for him. It's like his GoFundMe has $5,000. If he ever goes and tries to apply to any large company and they Google his name, they're like, yeah, we're not hiring this guy. I don't know. He's not some fucking
what's going to be
super
more
genius.
Interesting is what will happen to the company that does hire him because he is still
McDonald's. I think they'll be fine.
I will bet you money. I'll bet you Jubear coin.
Yeah, you can have them all.
If he gets hired,
he'll get hired. Look, this stuff. I've seen this a million times. This stuff comes and goes.
We will know because
you won't know.
Media class.
You're not going to know.
The media class.
I'm telling you, you're not going to know. He's going to go get hired. He's 19 years old right now. He's a junior. He'll go get hired somewhere in a couple of years. Unless he wants to take the route of fucking that kid with Dave Portnoy, where it's like his whole thing is he's just like, you know, super fucking, his whole thing is Jews. That guy is not going to get hired. That guy, I feel bad for that guy because literally like he is destroying his life for not a good reason. Like unless he thinks he's going to be like an influencer and he, you know, he's trying to be like the new Nick Fuentes, but like even Nick Fuentes is just like, yeah, the Jew stuff is kind of old. Like this thing is moving on. And, you know, when you're kind of you know, not good at this stuff, you just fixate on these things. You go, yeah, this is going to be like, this is how it's going to be forever. Like, we're just going to be talking about the Jews. And you're like, no,
I mean,
everything moves on and you're going to be the guy who's like still talking about the Jews.
It's a 2,000-year-old thing.
I understand that but in terms of like trends, like if you're trying to be someone who's like an influencer, then like you have to be ahead of the trend. Like you have to spot the trends. And Nick Fuentes, that's why he's really good. It's because he knows, like, he can sense that this stuff's getting stale, so he's like moving on to new things. Because it's like it's almost becoming like, in a comedy term, like hacky, I guess. But the less smart people are like, yeah, we're still doing this.
Calling it a trend is just so disingenuous.
But I mean, you understand what I mean when I say a trend, like in terms of, like just how like trans was the thing 5 years ago. And like now it's Jews, like you understand that distinction, like where like these things that have like mind share, I guess.
Trans was a thing since 70 AD, and the Talmudists wrote.
I know, but you're being purposefully like not.
I'm not being purposefully anything.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you understand that like there was a period from like 2016 to like 2022 roughly where it was like the whole thing was trans. It was just like trans. That was the thing. That was the big thing.
I mean, it was the thing with Magnus Hirschfeld.
I understand.
During Weimar Germany.
I understand that, but like we're talking in a post-social media era, okay? To, you know. Like it's just that's
Burning
what it
Books
was.
is pretty cool. It was pretty much social media, and the news footage of it, that was social. I mean, you can keep saying like, oh, this is just happening now. It's just like.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying like I know that you are going to be on this. This is going to be your fucking cause until the day you die. But like, you know that like obviously you get more like juice on this stuff, no pun intended, than you did 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, this was more fringe than it is now.
My cause is I just want a more honest and genuine society.
Okay.
We just don't. We want good for you. It's like.
I mean, again, like, I still go back to the fact where, like, if the roles were reversed, you would be having a fucking conniption about this. If there was a guy and he's like, and he's just like a Jewish kid, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to work for, I won't work for a goy. I don't want to work for a goy.
That's good.
You would be losing your fucking mind.
That. No, we would not. We would not.
You personally would. I know for a fact.
I would not.
Yes,
I would not. I would not.
You're a
You're
liar
saying
like the Jews.
I'd be mad because I can't hire a
No, because you'd be like, why
grabber.
Well, it's not you hiring. Who the fuck do you hire?
Well,
it's not
he's using the word goy. He's using the word goy. I would never want any such organism in my employment.
But you don't hire anybody. I'm talking about as a group situation. I know for a fact you would be mad about this.
I would not.
Yes, you would.
I seriously would. No, I would actually be relieved. I would be relieved because it'd be like, oh, weight off my shoulder. Like we have one termite that is not in our house.
I don't think so. I think you would take that personally. Where you're like, what? You would be. I mean, I remember when you called into the bathhouse a couple months ago about the goy stuff. I could tell it rubs you the wrong way, and I just for a fact I know that all those your ilk, as you say, would not be like, oh, what a nice, honest guy. You'd be like, what the fuck? How dare he?
Yeah, no, that'd be like, there are reasons when you do a job interview, and part of the process, they do ask, like, hey, do you have any felonies? Have you ever been accused of stealing? Have you done this or that? Has this ever been attached? Like, have any of these misbehaviors been ever attached to your name?
Yeah.
There's a reason those things are asked. And I'm always up front and forthcoming with all that. And I'm like, hey, I got popped for driving drunk.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they're going to find it anyways, probably.
Yeah,
So-
but when somebody's like, hey, yeah, I have, you know, when somebody's honest and forthcoming, and they're like, well, we wouldn't want him working here, then that should be a good sign. But
I mean, again, there's a
now
civil way to do this. You just be like, no, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks.
But this is a freedom of association.
It is absolutely the freedom of association. Like I said, he's free to do it. It was just a stupid thing for him to do as a 19-year-old. And again, I don't think he should just be punished for this in perpetuity. But I mean, wasn't a smart career choice. That's for sure. All right, Slav, I gotta let you go. All right, let's talk to Dylan. Dylan, Mr. Angry Man.
I just don't feel so good anymore.
What's going on?
I realized that I'm just bitter and angry, and I just don't feel good about myself, and I just lash out all the time.
That's good. You've been doing some introspection, I see.
Yeah, I really practice that hard. I like how I like how. Sorry, I'm a few beers deep, and I was hoping to still have some energy going, but you fucking kept me on hold for a while.
Hey man, their phone lines are fucking lit up, dude. I got to you. I tried to get to you in
the
the
little
order.
boy is growing up.
Yeah, I got to you in the order though. I got to you in the order that you called. Because you called a little late.
Fine. I wasn't even sure if I was going to call in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like how just like the least amount of like my monotone voice, just like if I just raise it the most, like just a little bit, it just sounds like I'm having an aneurysm while I'm flying a plane. You know?
You just sound depressed. I feel like I'm talking to fucking Eeyore every time you call in.
It's because by the time that I get to calling you is I've been up all day and I've been working as David Allen Coe would say, like an N-word in the field.
Yeah.
And so all my energy is
fair
I
enough.
still have all my sarcastic wit.
Yes.
It just comes out
just
slower.
a little zapped energy wise. I you know what? I can relate to that.
And then I try to come off a little bit boisterous with a couple beers in me, and then it just kind of falls flat.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to up the energy here. You're putting me to sleep.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you about first this lady I found that I posted in the Patreon, and boy is she amazing. I love people that think they're being gang stalked.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Do you ever go down that rabbit hole?
What was the one that you posted? I didn't see
Okay.
it. I think I missed it.
So this lady, this is a new one for me. Like, because usually what the gang stalk people will do is they'll post pictures and videos of like the people they accuse of gang stalking them, and it's like a bunch of bewildered people that ironically look like the same reaction you'd give to somebody if you were gang stalking them.
Okay.
And her @ on X is called disabled stalker, and it's filled of just pictures and videos of her just confronting people for stalking her. But her thing that makes her a star is that she thinks that the FBI and the DHS are hiring disabled people to gang stalk her.
Okay.
So her interactions are with people that are disabled on the street.
All right. So she's just interacting with disabled people, and then she thinks they're stalking her?
Yeah, so there's one video.
Is she
that
just
really
mentally
caught
ill?
my attention.
Is she just like completely
I
mentally
don't know.
ill?
I mean, I was telling Gerard, like, I can't say she's wrong. It's kind of like the birds aren't real thing.
Yeah.
But she had a video that, like, this is what made me follow her, is she was parked on the side of the road, and most of these people generally live out of their car and, you know, have that kind of repertoire to them. And she's parked there on the side of the road, and this woman who's walking with her Down syndrome child, she's walking with her Down syndrome son down the sidewalk, and she rolls down the window and she goes, "I know what you're doing, you bitch."
Crazy. Where do I find this video? I'm looking for it in the Patreon.
I'll post it again for you.
Post it in the chat.
Way up there. I mean,
I must have missed it. I don't see it.
This woman is absolutely bonkers.
Hey man.
But
there's a lot of nutbags.
Yeah, that's a fun follow. And the other thing I was going to talk about is so I play a game called DayZ, which is like a survival game online where you have to do all sorts of things to survive, like cook, hunt, and shoot at other people. And one of the things that they have on some of these servers is like their own economies where you can like grow weed and earn money or trade Pokemon cards.
Okay.
And as we were talking in your other Patreon chat about being Pokemon hunters ourselves, is I realized this new flourishing market that's like just really starting to peak with Pokemon cards is going to be the new
crazy,
like
man.
millennials version.
Yeah.
It's going to be the millennial version of investing in art pieces.
It is kind of, you know what? I've heard
thing.
someone said this, and it honestly kind of makes the most amount of sense with Pokemon is like Pikachu can never tear his ACL. Like, because a lot of people who have like sports cards and stuff are like, you know, you have a guy and you buy a card of theirs and it's, you know, goes up in value and then they tear their ACL and it's just worthless. But it's like Pikachu is just like, it's timeless almost, like Pokemon. I don't even have any Pokemon cards. I gave them all to my niece. I gave my niece a box of first edition.
Did that.
I gave my box.
Beat the shit out of your niece.
I literally gave my niece a box like this big. It must have been like a 200 count box of first edition Pokemon cards. No hollows though. I wouldn't have given her any hollows. I never even collected Pokemon cards. I just had them because like my friend's cousin like gave them to me or traded them to me for like a hockey card like fucking 25 years ago.
I just happened to take in my Pokemon cards when I saw that this whole craze was getting really big, and took them into the comic book shop, and the guy just opened up the first page and he like closed it and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah.
And like the first card that I had in there was like $6,000.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And dude, it's crazy because it's perfect. You put your money into these little pieces of cardboard, and it's going to replace fiat currency.
Well, I mean,
I have the CBDC.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, get rid of the CBDC.
Well, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead and talk over me.
Sorry, I was just saying like last week, like you really like this is like an inflation thing where people are just trying to buy any hard assets to protect themselves against inflation, and collectibles are like a lot of money's pouring into them right now because of that. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a perfect thing to store value because it's almost cryptocurrency, but in like physical form.
Yeah.
And you just get more and more money over time. It's just money laundering.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is, except
and you have proof because you have the PSA.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is, except for if you look at like literally 99% of these things, like, because you'll see some of them, you're like, wow, it's gone up so much in value, and you're like, it still underperforms the S&P 500 like most of the time. Obviously not like certain Pokemon cards and stuff, but like, you know, I bought a bunch of sports cards in like 2020, and some of them have gone up like quite a bit of money, but I'm like, if I put that in the stock market, I would still have more money.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like doing like a side-by-side comparison of like mimicking your completely fiduciary financial advice that is legally pending.
Yeah, legally binding.
And then my Pokemon, and I'll put $1,000 in one and $1,000 in the other.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
I would be curious about that. Yeah, I do like follow the card market from some kind of a distance, but I do I see it in my Instagram reels and stuff, and I do own a bunch of sports cards, but I can say that they definitely have not outperformed. The only thing that really outperformed would be if you bought a 52. I remember I was trying to, when I was 10, I was trying to convince my dad to buy a 52 mantle. And he was it was a lot, it was several $1,000s at the time. And that probably, the right ones would, but, a lot of them wouldn't. Michael Jordan rookie card, definitely over the last 30 years, I would guess, outperformed the S&P 500.
Let me get your Jew opinion on this real quick. So you're familiar with PSA, correct?
Dude, so in 2020, when I saw the fucking sports card market go crazy, I bought they used to be a public company. It was called Collectors Universe. And I bought shares in the company because I'm like, this thing is going to go fucking bananas. And then Fanatics bought not Fanatics, Nat Turner bought them. They went private. And they went private at such a shitty deal. And there was a vote, and everybody was like, yeah, the CEO needs to vote to not take this deal because it's such a bad deal. And he was, I guess, people were speculating that he was getting paid on the side to accept this deal. And they're they must be fucking 20 times larger than they were 5 years ago. I got scammed. I made money on it, but I was so pissed off. And when you buy stocks, you always want them to just get acquired. And I was like, oh, this is such a fucking scam. But yes, go ahead. PSA.
So what I can't figure out is, okay, so right now they've removed their options for anything lower than $80 per card that you send into them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if that's going to be good for the market or worse for the market. What do you think?
So so basically they had, for people who don't know, it's you can basically get your card authenticated. You get a grade on it. PSA there's lots of companies that do it. There's Beckett, there's PSA, there's all these companies. PSA is the gold standard. It's just, if you have a PSA 10, it is worth way more money than the exact same card in what the equivalent would be Beckett 9.5 or whatever. But anyways, people were literally grading fucking the dumbest bullshit. They were sending in cards from the 90s that had, a million print runs, and they were getting these cards graded. Anyways, I think they had a backlog when this went in of 15 million cards or something, because people were sending in so many cards.
Yeah, 14 million.
They're just we physically can't do this. They're we're building out new facilities, all this stuff, but it's just, this is getting ridiculous. And PSA has they didn't used to have this when I was a kid, but now they have a thing where they're if we grade a card of yours and it's worth $200,000 now, you owe us $20,000, which is, I think, insane.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Crazy that they're taking a piece of it on that end. I think is criminal, but I guess they're hey, it's worth way more money, so we want the money, and if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I don't know. I think a lot of people it'll just go back to people will just sell those cards ungraded, and it's I don't know. I own cards, I own some cards that are worth $1 that are graded, and I'm cost you $30 to grade this thing, and the card's worth $1 now.
Well, so yeah, because I'm thinking, because I have ton of cards that are worth hundreds of dollars that are brand new that could get they're a PSA 10 for $80. They're $200 cards. I still make $100 off of, I spent $25 on it.
But
I'm wondering
how much are they worth in a PSA 10, I guess, is the question, because it's hard to get a PSA 10.
That's what I'm saying, is $200.
Yeah, that's not worth it. The thing is because you're gambling at that point, because it's if it comes back a 9, then it's probably worth the same amount of money if it was not graded. So no, it would only be worth
cards. And I mean, they're pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I mean the thing is even brand new cards they'll have like print lines on them, or they'll have like a little indentation.
Yeah.
Just like from the print. It's just like for that, it's not worth it. If you have a card where you're like, yeah, I sent it in for $80 and it can be worth $5,000, or like the 100 or 200 it's currently worth. Yes, I don't think so for that though.
So what do you like? Before I hang up, so what do you think? Do you think $80 will rise the market, or do you think this is going to crash it once they resume the regular trading?
I don't know, honestly, because I imagine a lot of people will go to like the different graders. I don't really know like how it'll work. I think it'll obviously eliminate a lot of people who are just grading like cards that are worthless and they just want.
Okay, so I thought about people going to different graders.
Yeah, the people probably will go to different graders, but like PSA will be back online. Like, I bet you in 6 months, like where you'll be able to get all these things graded again. Yeah. All right, Dylan. Everybody. All right, let's go to Jason. Dylan's foil. I'll do my best to get to everybody on the line. We're gonna go to 9:30. Hello, Jason. What's happening, man?
What's up, Danny?
How you doing?
Oh, nothing much. So I think similar to what Dylan said, called late because I wasn't planning on calling at all.
Yeah.
But just listening to first caller David, and specifically when you guys were talking about how like dangerous helicopters are versus airplanes.
Do you fly helicopters?
As someone that has a lot of time. Yeah, I do. I flew helicopters for 9 years before I ever flew my first airplane.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I do both. About 60% of my total time's in helicopter.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, but before that, real quick, just to piggyback on what you and Dylan were talking about, I didn't know about the value of Pokemon cards until recently. I was watching
insane.
True crime podcast called Crime is Fun.
Yeah.
And it was all about Pokemon. So some of it was people being murdered playing Pokemon Go, but they were talking about the underworld of counterfeit Pokemon cards being sold.
There's tons of counterfeits.
And they're also they're counterfeiting the PSA tags too. So you get someone on eBay that's like, they feel safe because like, oh, this is graded.
Right.
And just dropping tens of thousands of dollars on like ultra rare, whatever cards.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And it's the whole thing's
that was
fake.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I know even now when you buy, I don't know if it's what the number is, but if you buy like a card over like $200, even if it's graded, it goes to PSA first. And it's like eBay's like authentication program. So eBay basically guarantees. I don't know if it's for graded cards. I think it is as well, but basically they give like an authentication guarantee. There's so many counterfeit. I mean, it's logical because you're like, this is a piece of paper that could be worth $500,000. I mean, there's
well, anywhere there's large sums of money being passed around, criminals will make their way in.
I mean, there's I've seen
the Mexican cartels started buying avocado fields.
Right.
Because they're a big money maker.
Yeah, big money maker. Like I've seen auctions where there'll be like some like huge like auction like Sotheby's or some shit, or like I can't remember what the big like one that they're in New York. I can't remember what they're called, but they'll have a card and people will be like, that's fake. Like it's graded, but they're like, that card's fake, and it'll be like a $300,000 card. And they'll just be like,
I see Dylan just posted to ask this motherfucker why he didn't email me. I've been busy. Haven't got around to it.
All right. I'm sure it'll be a very constructive email.
No. Well, and honestly, I thought, oh, Dylan's got someone new in the scope with David, so he's moved on. But I will say with his monotone just delivery, which I'm kind of the same way.
Me too.
I feel like the most authentic and upbeat I've ever heard was the night on Bathhouse when his wife called in.
Yeah.
And he was so excited you could hear him kind of giggling in the background.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was funny.
But anyways, on what you and Dylan were talking about, I'll try to keep it quick because I know you don't want this to be an aviation podcast, or a call-in show. But so the conventional thinking is that helicopters are dangerous because they're more mechanically complex.
Okay.
Which they are more complex, but that doesn't make them more dangerous. It makes them more expensive. So inspections happen more frequently. It is true that like the way they operate hard on the airframes, but those also get inspected. But in 2017, I was flying a Black Hawk in Syria that was built in 1979. So it was like 38 years old.
Yeah.
Over 10,000 hour airframe, but it'd been through inspections and overhauls, and it was, 100% functional and airworthy. So if you look at helicopter mishaps or crashes, even though they're more mechanically complex, they're usually due to pilot error. And I think it has more to do with the types of operations. They land off airports, they fly at night, they hit towers and wires.
Right.
They can't fly in icing conditions. So, in winter months in the north, like it's not an option just to go instrument flight rules through the clouds. Like you have to avoid the clouds because you'll ice up and die.
Yeah, well, there was the helicopter. There was the tourist helicopter in New York City. I think it was last summer that crashed. There was like a Spanish family on board, I think.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think
I know there was one a couple years ago.
I think the company was like behind on their certifications or whatever, inspections.
Yeah, and I think that's a result of like small operators, higher load time pilots, and less experienced mechanics and all those other factors. But most people, when they think of like airplane safety, they're thinking what they have experience with, which is commercial travel. And if you were just to compare airlines to helicopters, yes.
Right.
But there's really no general aviation in helicopters. Like it's all professional operations. So if you consider in the general aviation public, like John Denver killed himself flying his own personal airplane, I'd say that probably kind of evens it out.
Oh, that's a good point. Like people who fly Cessnas and stuff, like.
Yeah, so I personally know 5 pilots that have died in crashes. 4 incidents. 1 was a passenger with another pilot, but 3 were in helicopters. 1 was shot down in Afghanistan. 1 crashed on a combat infill in Afghanistan. 1 was in upstate New York doing power line patrols, kind of questionable weather, had a wire strike. The one I know that was an airplane was 2 helicopter pilots flying one of their like personal airplanes, single engine, Beechcraft Bonanza, and had an engine failure after takeoff and crashed. But
crazy.
Now what David said was true about auto rotation is something that can safely be done with engine failure in a helicopter, but it's a very steep glide path. But I know 3 pilots personally that have had to auto rotate after an engine failure, and all 3 survived.
Interesting.
1 had a passenger die, but the pilot lived.
How does that work? How does a passenger die and the pilot lives?
So this particular aircraft was a Bell Jet Ranger, which is what most people think of if you think like 90s news helicopter, just
right.
2 rotor blade, rotor head. And that rotor system is called it falls into the category of semi-rigid, but what it is, it's a splined, underslung rotor head. So think of like a playground teeter-totter that rotates.
Mm-hmm.
So when he successfully auto-rotated to a field, the force when he set down caused that rotor blade, which works like a teeter-totter, to flex enough that it came through the windshield and hit the guy in the left seat in the head.
Wow. Dylan wants to know.
And it was a law enforcement flight, so it was like a cop in the left seat. Yeah.
That still sucks. Dylan wants to know, can you ask Jason what the ratio is to elevation, atmospheric temperature to freezing from velocity?
Well, I'm just a low IQ sociopath, so I wouldn't know where to begin to answer that.
Fair.
I'm sure he knows that's a nonsensical question, but
I
anyway.
have no idea. I have no clue.
Those words don't really go together, but okay. No, that was really just it. And on David's medical emergency, when I heard him say, what was it? I thought of AAA, which is abdominal, second aortic aneurysm.
Yeah.
But his was in his chest. But like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, he's lucky to be alive, because I've watched people die in my medical helicopter from like those types of aneurysms that burst like that. So.
Jesus. All right, Jason, I gotta let you go. Thanks, buddy. Good talking to you.
All right. Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Jason, everybody. This is learn a lot about aviation. Iron Man Benno Bill says, if we all thought like them, who would we rip off? That's the Indians, maybe. Drew Huntley says, why isn't Elon on DARPA working on Pokeball technology? It could solve world hunger and imagine the cool animal fights. Free Mike Vic. And then Dylan says, oh yeah, ask the MF why he didn't email me. All right. We're going to take some more calls, and then we're going to go on final Patreon call of the night. And we got 2 non-patrons that we'll do our best to get to. We may only get to one of them, though, and I'm going to do them in order. We have Eli here. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to the show tonight. Our patron guest is not answering. Unmute yourself. All right, let's go. All right, let's go to Cole from Peoria then.
Hello?
Cole. Oh, of course they both pick up at the exact same time. Eli, what's up, man?
Hey, sorry, man. I couldn't figure out how to unmute the microphone. I'm hitting all these buttons. Anyways, I'm here.
Don't sweat it. We're here. We made it. What's up, man?
Disclosure Day wasn't that great. Just a heads up.
No?
E.T. was better. No, not worth it.
It's a new Spielberg, right?
Yeah, it's kind of right.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, just wanted to lighten the mood before I dissect what you were saying the other day. So you were on the Boys Cast.
Yep.
Yeah, so you were on the Boys Cast and you were talking about that Jesse guy and his abortion. You're right.
Dude, are you on a speakerphone? You're really muffled, or it's hard to hear you.
No, I am now. Is that any better?
That sounds a little better, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty bad service. Maybe that was
maybe it's the service.
Anyways,
then.
yeah, my bad. Anyways, yeah, so you were that's messed up. That's eugenics.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, of course. And then you were like, yeah, but if I had a kid and was only going to live a couple of years, I would probably just kill it before it was born. I was like,
yeah, if they told you your kid's going to live 18 months, I'm like, and then, they're not going to live.
Yeah, so yeah, that doesn't seem consistent though with you saying that a Down syndrome kid killing him.
So actually, you know what? So someone messaged me after that episode to clear things up about this. Actually, I'm not going to obviously say her name or anything. Let me see if I can find. I don't know where it is, but basically it was a woman who had this exact situation, and basically said that she was in that situation. I can't find it. I can't find it. But basically there's, I guess, 70%, there's it varies when you have a kid with Down syndrome, and I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially the ones you see who are living, they work jobs, those are actually not the standard. And I guess you don't know, and you could have severely disabled. Now it is still kind of, I guess, eugenics. It still falls into that thing, but I guess there's a distinction. I can't find her message, but she basically kind of explained this difference to me, I guess. But anyways, go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you still stand by that? If you were to have a kid and
they told me that they told me that the kid was gonna basically be severely disabled and live 18 months kind of tops.
Yeah. Yeah, you would still kill it?
I think so, probably, yeah. I'm not
Yeah, why?
I'm not pro life or anything though. But why? I think to bring I mean it's kind of a, I don't know, if a kid is gonna you're this kid is just gonna live this terrible life and then terrible short life and potentially be in pain and doesn't have control of their body and stuff like that. I don't know, that doesn't sit well with me.
But I mean, if that's all the kid knows, it'd be one thing, if you were 20 and you got in a car accident, and you were a vegetable the rest of your life. It'd be another thing, if you were born and that's all you know. Would it? It's when you meet someone that's deaf or blind, you're like, wow, that must really suck, and they're actually, this is all I know, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but I mean I guess relatively that's all, but obviously, I don't know. It's a hard one. I guess it's a position I certainly hope I never have to be put in. But
it just doesn't seem consistent. Like, you know, if you're anti-eugenics, why would you be pro-killing someone that could have a harder life because they're disabled?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think this is a harder life per se. Like, there's one thing to be like, oh, they're going to have a harder life, but they're going to have somewhat of a full life. But if to say, like, this kid is guaranteed, has, like, some congenital thing. And, I mean, there's I don't know. It's I feel like when they kind of put that limit on it, where you're like, yeah, this kid's not going to even see their second birthday. I don't know. Like, almost to me, it almost feels like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you're almost like doing it in their benefit, you know? I don't know.
You're killing them in their benefit.
Like, if they're going to be suffering their whole life and then die at 18 months, that does feel like that to me. Like, if they're going to live a life of suffering. Now, I understand that you could, you know, there's different, you know, people view suffering differently. There's different, it's, you know, I'm sure it's a spectrum of suffering, and, you know, you could ascribe that to other situations. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I take it from this that you are probably pro-life.
I'm an abolitionist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's a step past pro-life, I guess. But
yeah. I mean, again, I'm not pro-life. Like, I'm not like a staunch pro-life person, so I'm not against abortion. Like, can I say?
Are you anti-eugenics?
I am anti-eugenics, and I understand there is that, like, I understand there is like a distinction there, I suppose. But like, if someone was like, yeah, you're just gonna have a regular Down syndrome kid, which I guess you can't even know. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You know what? To be honest, I'm like probably not the most informed about this. I would probably have to know more about this, but that's kind of my thinking, I guess. I'm trying to find this.
Well, yeah, I mean, it reminds me of what you were saying with Ryan, how, you know, there's this slippery slope where it's like, well, we can kill him because he has this disability and such. And then it's like, you know, if you have a doctor that's like, yeah, it's like, we could kill this guy because he's only going to live, you know, this amount of time, or he's going to have a suffering type of life. It's like, it seems to me like the same slippery slope where you put the life of a kid in the doctor's hands and he's like, yes or no, or I guess even the parents' hands. And, I don't know. It kind of seems like playing God.
Yeah. I mean, it is playing God. There's I don't think that's even in question. I think the moment that you start testing for this stuff, there is some. I'm trying to find this message from this woman. I can't find it, but it seems like, yeah, you are playing God. I do think we play God a lot, though. In various ways. I cannot fucking find this message. I'm trying to.
So this lady had like a lady with Down syndrome, or
she basically had she was going to have a child with Down syndrome, and they aborted it, and she was just explaining it to me, and I was not fully informed, I guess. Like, essentially what she was saying is like there's more to it. That, like, because I was of the assumption that, like, if you have a kid with Down syndrome, like, they know if the kid is going to live to 18 months or 50 years, but it's from the sounds of it, they don't know, I guess. So yeah, at that point, yeah, I guess like it is a bit eugenics. Like, you are kind of just making this call. Like, you don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but like I from the way she described it, is like, you don't even know. But probably when I was talking about it on the Boys Cast, I assumed that you did know. But so that was kind of the context I was talking about it in.
Yeah. Do you believe in objective morality, or are you a relativist?
That's a good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. I don't think I've ever really thought of it. Give me the definitions of both. I don't think it's anything I've ever really specifically thought of.
Sure. Yeah. So objective morality is that there is an objective right and wrong.
Yeah.
That, and basically, a relativist is somebody that decides their truth. Like, this is good for me, that's good for you. We can live our separate truth. Yeah. So. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like if you're like the objective morality thing would essentially, if you live that way, then you would probably arrive at the answer that you can't even abort a baby for, say, like in the case of like rape or like incest. I would imagine that's the case.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
so then
Why wouldn't you kill the dad?
Right. So I would be in probably in the relative camp, I suppose. I mean, look, one of my best friends, I didn't find this out until after he killed himself, but one of my best friends, he came to be, I didn't know this. I knew he was adopted. I didn't know the situation, but he literally, like, the way he was born, his biological father was in fucking prison for 30 years for raping his biological mother. Mm-hmm. And he was the result of that. And I'm like, if you ask me, I'm like, do I wish that he was never born? Like, no, obviously not. Like, he was like a really good friend of mine. So, right. I do think that should be a personal decision, I guess. I don't know. For me, this is just like not a super black and white issue, I guess. Because, I I understand if you're a woman who gets raped and you're like, yeah, I don't want to have the kid of my rapist. Like, I understand that. But at the same time, I'm like, do I want my friend who would not have existed? No. I'm glad he wasn't aborted.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would understand not wanting, I'm not a chick, but like, I would understand not wanting to like give birth to this kid. But it's like, if the argument is I don't want to raise this kid from the dad that raped me, it's like there's actually like almost 2 million people on the adoption waiting list.
Yeah, and again, my friend, literally, him and his brother were like he had a brother, and they were given a loving home, and they their parents were like had money, and he had a great childhood. I think he had a lot of like demons in there, and probably some of them were related to this, but I don't disagree. Like, I don't think he ever wishes maybe he did wish he was aborted. I mean, he kind of aborted himself, but right. I don't wish he was aborted. Yeah, but I can't I can't put myself in the shoes of a woman who's been raped. And it's just like, I don't want to carry this fucking kid to term of my rapist.
I mean, I guess, but then it's like she gets double trauma because she got raped, and then she just killed like her own child, like subconsciously. That messes women up.
I don't know how much you feel that I know that's partially your child, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is not the most, like, this isn't like a super black and white thing, I guess. I mean, I don't feel it is. I guess some people would be like, yeah, it's just like you're killing a kid, but I'm not some staunch pro-life person. So, like, I've definitely been with girls I've never been with a girl who's had an abortion, but I've definitely been with girls who took Plan B. And I know some people are like, yeah, that's, in that ballpark. It's like, is Plan B okay? Or is that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just like all about being consistent. If you believe, if you believe the fact that human life begins at conception, then yeah, like that's its own unique DNA, that's its own unique human. So to be consistent, it's like, yeah, like that is killed, then a human is killed at any stage from conception.
I assure you, every woman who has ever taken a Plan B, I've never lost any sleep over it. I would lose sleep over it if they didn't take the Plan B, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Life's complicated, I guess. I don't even know the answer. Like, this is like to me, this is not like some, like, because I'm not overly religious, and yeah, I'm like, I don't, like, I guess I would be in the relativist category in this case.
I mean, maybe in this case, yeah. I mean, you can go anywhere with relativism. I mean, that's kind of the pickle that we're in now.
Right.
You know, people think that they're a different gender or a different species or whatever. And I mean, I guess that's kind of like where it starts. Like, do you believe that everybody, do you believe that there's an objective moral standard of right and wrong? And to be consistent.
And I do think that for some
then
things, like I definitely think like, you know, murder is wrong. I don't think there's but
across the board, is murder wrong?
Like, are you saying,
is it always wrong?
Is murder always wrong? I would say so. Like, are you talking about like a death penalty situation?
Is the premeditated taking of a life that is an innocent life, I guess, relative to your
so you're making a distinction now between an innocent life, or so are you making the distinction in terms of like the death penalty? Because
that's justice.
See, I'm not. I still find, but you're like, they make mistakes.
Well, okay, sure, I understand they make mistakes, but like in a perfect world, if somebody kills someone,
but the world's not
justice
perfect.
Would be you.
There's no like the perfect world. There's no such thing.
No such thing, right? But in an attempt to rectify the situation, justice would be giving what you took. If I took $100 from you, I would have to give $100 back. If I took,
I charge interest.
I now owe a life.
Yeah.
Plus interest. Yeah. No, but I'm saying. Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to live in a society of like where that's just up to we're letting, you know, vigilantes kind of decide this. I prefer more of like a rule of law thing where, you know, if you do something like that, you get punished for it. I don't want that to have to be in the hands of the person. And you're like, not everybody wants to go kill somebody. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. I think justice belongs in the hands of the government. I'm not an anarchist.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you believe murder is wrong, if you believe taking an innocent life, premeditating that taking of the life is wrong, then consistently, I mean, you would believe that with, you know, the taking of an innocent life inside a woman, regardless of the state.
But I don't, like, again, I'm not like of the, you know, I don't believe in the whole, like I understand the case to be made. Like, okay, here's a good example, okay? My wife and myself have done IVF, right? So we have embryos. Mm-hmm. We're not going to use all the embryos. I don't think we had one embryo, for example, that was like, it was graded very low, and they were like, it's going to have some disease. I can't remember the disease, but it's like, it has this disease. You have like a big head and a weird body or whatever, and like all these problems, and they wouldn't even implant it. Like, they'll never implant it. They won't even do it. Now, I know that some people are like, that's literally murder. I'm just not there. I'm not there where like I'm killing a human. But I understand what they're saying. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not at that point. Like, me jacking off into a cup and fucking putting some sperm in an egg. I don't feel like I'm killing somebody when they destroy that thing. But I know some people who do. I understand people who do. Like, I do get that.
Yeah. Well, do you believe life begins at conception?
Do I believe life begins at conception? No, not at conception. I'm not like a 9-monther. I'm like, I don't know. What's the age where a baby can survive outside of the womb? That's probably where I'd be at.
20, 22. Yeah, but come on. I hate to take your time, but that's such a lame argument, because what baby can survive outside the womb without the parent?
I'm just talking about surviving. Like, you could be in a fucking incubator.
Oh, my.
Yeah. I'm just talking about, like, you know. Yeah, look, this is a debate that I understand. Like, everybody kind of has, and everybody kind of falls on a different part of this. Like, again, I don't think when a girl takes Plan B, that I just killed somebody. I'm just like, I didn't. Or at least I don't feel that way. I understand people feel that I did, but I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I think you know where I stand with it. But basically,
I understand the position you have. I understand I understand the argument for the position you have. I just don't. I don't know. Like maybe I'm going to hell. Jews don't have hell, but maybe it's over for me. Maybe my
Sheol or Abraham's bosom or something.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's what I've continued this conversation because I actually like having this conversation with you. It's like some of these things I've thought about obviously before. Some of them I haven't. But I'm never gonna be like Plan B is murder. But I know some people who are like, yeah, that it's murder.
Never say never. Well, here's kind of my theory. And I mean, this doesn't really have to do.
I'm going to put up a poll right now. Is Plan B murder? Let's see what let's see what the people think.
Well, I mean, but I'm curious if these people know, if life begins at conception, because if Plan B is removing that implanted egg, not everyone knows like what Plan B does.
Yeah,
I
don't know what it does. I know what it does. It solves my problems.
Maybe, or maybe you're missing out on some blessings, man. Kids are cool.
I mean, there's definitely been some chicks where I go like, I don't know, this one's going to be a blessing. This one might be closer to a curse.
Perhaps, but here's my theory of what's going on with this whole migration stuff. We've aborted a third of our population. So like over 70 million kids that we know of have been aborted since Roe v. Wade. And guess what's happening is there's not enough people doing these jobs, and instead migrants are moving into the country taking those jobs. It almost seems like, okay, like
I actually don't disagree with you. And I said this probably on the show maybe in the last few months where I go, birth control pill, that was a mistake. We're going to look back on that, and we're going to say for on an that was like, it's obviously meant as an individual thing where on an individual level, probably that was like good. And then on like a more macro level, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. And we're seeing that today, and this country is going to go to people that are having kids, that are having dozens of kids.
Lots of kids.
Yeah. And like I think it was a week or two ago you were saying to Slav, it's like, dude, like stop complaining. Like literally, if you want to fix it, start having a ton of kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty consistent on that at least. All right, I gotta let you go. That was a great call.
Yeah.
Fantastic call.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to bash on you or anything. Yeah, I
didn't take it that way at all. I thought it was just a, good conversation.
All right. Thanks.
Later, man. And just as a, to see, it's literally 50-50. Is Plan B murder 52% to 48%? No. Yes, 52%. So this is just like one of those decisions where it's just like it's just a 50-50 decision. All right, we're going to take two more calls. We're just going to go to 10 o'clock. I wasn't planning on it, but extra show.
Hello?
Cole from Peoria.
Hello?
What's up, pal?
Hi, this is Cole from Peoria.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm very well. Just had a spirited conversation. What are your thoughts, Cole? Plan B, murder?
Do you want to keep talking about abortion or
sure.
what?
You know what? Honestly, we haven't talked a lot about abortion on the show.
Well, no. I've got a lot of ideas about this, actually, if you want to hear them.
Let's hear them.
Okay, so when I was talking about my psychological event, right?
Yep.
So you and Ryan were joking about how graduate assistants trick their students into exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a gal who needed an abortion when I was a graduate student, and she literally had this situation occur and just went and she's like, do you want me to do this? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And at the time she's living with me, so she comes home and she's like, I feel like a crab. And she starts, excrementing our child into the bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you feel? How did you feel about it?
This wasn't the first time this has happened to me.
Not your first rodeo. So you were kind of just like, whatever.
So
it is what it is. I mean, there are a lot of women who have abortions, and it's traumatizing, and they regret it. There's no question about it.
I had another gal who was like a succubus. She basically, we were banging, and she sent me a yellow envelope full of like pictures of something that were like the sonogram or whatever she thought it was. I don't know. She was just nuts. And then she just went and aborted it and then came to me and told me it was fine. And I was like, okay. So
that sounds
women
like
hold the leverage and all of this.
Yeah, that sounds like exactly the response I would have too if a girl who I didn't want to have a kid with did that. I go, sick. Or is it bad? Or sick?
Well, the problem is a lot of these women think that they can't get pregnant.
Yes.
Or they think that that's not like an option for them. And women are just kind of stupid. I don't know how else to tell you that.
They are. I mean, look, the propaganda that they've been fed, where you're just like, yeah, you can just have a baby.
They're totally into TikTok, into the TikTok mainframe. Like my wife was telling me, like, oh, there's no such thing as like crime in America because there's no Tren de Agua. And I was like, do you mean Tren de Aragua? And she's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so we've got TikTok brain on 50% of the population.
Oh yeah. And well, a lot of it was like this feminism stuff where they were just like, yeah, go have a career, you don't need a kid, and then women are like, oh, okay, great. And then they're 35.
But I don't want to discount these women because I don't want to discount these women because they've suffered and also like
no, I feel bad for them. Like I feel bad for women who are like later trying to have a kid and they're like they can't and they're like, that sucks.
Well, it's not even women that are trying to have kids or whatever. It's just women in general. It's like when we're talking about my mental episode, I'm sitting there with my gal, right? And her sister, her sister was a heroin addict for years.
Okay.
And I'd helped them through that. And I'd seen her come up out of a body bag, getting charged by the EMTs, and you're like, okay, this was like some stupid white trash shit coming up through like the 2016s and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is nuts. And so she comes off of it. She's yelling at us about like, just these like Gen Zs who are like coming off of like weird ass drugs like meth, fentanyl. Like they were trying everything. And it's like she's sitting there trying to like make sense of it. It's like all these like stupid Midwestern moms. And you're like, okay, so what's like the angle here? And these women had no idea.
Yeah. No idea of what?
They have no ideas.
What? Why this is happening?
Well, of what to do. And then it's like they have all these rights and everything, so they just like think like if somebody can pay more money than you, that's proof. So you're just like, okay. You watch the hypergamy occur, and you're like, all right. So this one gal, like, we saved somebody from drugs right as we're going into like post-housing crisis nonsense, and women, like between this gal and her sister, it's like you have one person who's addicted to heroin coming off of it, coming into the fentanyl crisis, looking at like more easily accessible drugs than ever before. Meanwhile, somebody who's like, at this time, her dad died. Literally, he like drove into the Mississippi River.
Jesus.
So I'm sitting there trying to write my thesis in, I don't know, 2014, whatever. It's all coming down, and I take off. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're just like, I gotta get out of here.
The last problem I have is like whether I get to own a gun or not. I'm like, what do I want that for?
Sure.
At the end of the day, you write your thesis and whatever, but abortion is traumatic. It's not just traumatic for you. It's not just traumatic for her. Like I've experienced abortion with at least 3 different women. I've experienced Plan B. I've experienced. Well, yeah, I mean, it's discard to your seed, right? Like you don't. It's a woman looking at you saying, "I don't want this,"
right?
Or at the same time, you saying, "I don't want this."
Yeah, which is, I'm sure there's been numerous occasions where it's like the guy wants it, the woman doesn't, the woman wants it, the guy doesn't, which is probably way worse.
Well, and you got to listen to women, especially if they're in their 20s or whatever, because they're going to do whatever they want regardless of what you say.
Yes, they will. But I mean, I have some friends whose lives were wrecked because they knocked up the wrong chick. Like, absolutely. Now they obviously love their kids, but boy, did it fuck up their lives.
Oh, I mean, I've been in the wrong relationship and got divorced.
Yeah, with kids.
Yeah. No.
I'm talking about the with kid option, where it's like disaster.
Oh yeah, divorce. That's why like marriage is that's like proof that marriage is a trap.
Yeah.
It's like the trap is the children, and you love your children.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even consider it really divorce if you don't have kids. That's a breakup. That's not a divorce.
It is. For sure.
Divorce is with kids.
I went through that. It was a breakup. It cost me $3,000.
Yeah, that's a breakup. I've had non-marriage breakups that cost me more money than that. That's a breakup.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever it costs you to get away from those people. I mean, I've had those situations before in my life, and it cost me less than that.
Yeah, it's like, well, and it's also like, joke's on her. I would have paid double. So.
Right. So I guess, like, what are we trying to extract for these, like, people who are so overwhelmed with the pain of killing their own children? Because here's my debate. If you look at, like, Greek universities, they've recently rediscovered something called silphium. Can you look that up? Like, the discovery of silphium.
Spell that for me. C or S?
Silphium, Silphium. Silphium.
So laser wart?
They recently rediscovered it. Huh?
Miracle plant?
Yeah, they recently rediscovered it in the Mediterranean and through Greek universities.
Okay. And what was it for, abortions? To do abortions back in the day?
Apparently, the Greeks and Egyptians harvested it to such extent that they wiped it out.
Oh, okay.
For use as Plan B.
Interesting. It was like a...
So when people... And I laughed because I was looking at a lot of the alt-right like literature recently. And one of the things that came through was somebody discarded this verse from like Solomon or something, but basically it condemns the idea that Israel had if a man had some suspect that like a child wasn't his, he could deliver a woman to the priest to deliver a bitter cup and then have her drink it to prove if she was pregnant with something that wasn't his. So state-sponsored abortion was definitely a thing in ancient Israel.
Yeah. Well, it says right here.
Apparently modern Christian...
Yeah, it was an essential. Silphium was an essential item of trade from the ancient North African city of Cyrene. It was so critical to the Cyrenian economy that most of their coins bore an image of the plant. So yeah, shit was fucking as good as money. Cole, I gotta let you go.
Recovered it recently.
Yeah, I gotta let you go.
See,
unfortunately, I gotta wrap this up. But Cole, everybody, all right, let's go talk to Chris from Dallas quickly. 2 minutes. I'm sorry, but he called late. He called after the cutoff, but I love Chris from Dallas, so I'm gonna disregard. We got some super chats. The Dan Saga says Team Jason. Then he also says $50 super chat. Team Danny, my man. Drew Huntley says, can I buy an embryo for science? I'll give you a good deal, yeah. And then Dylan says, wasn't some trick the temp at a certain elevation in the sky standing still has a freezing point for water separated from JP5 fuel? I'm asking how long water in bad fuel takes to freeze, for fuck's sake, Jason. You have his email address. Just email him. Chris from Dallas.
Howdy, am I on Low Value Mail with Danny Polishchuk?
You are. How's it going, buddy? We got to make this quick, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
No worries. It's going well. Hey, I'm curious to hear, what is your single best trading card?
My single best trading card would be a 1953 Topps Mickey Mantle.
Oh, that's sick, man. Oh, right on. Yeah, no, I also got in on all the hype last year and have gotten hella into collecting hockey cards.
Oh, nice.
And have spent way more money than I ever planned on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get into it. Is you're just like, what am I doing? I think that's my best one. My second best one is, which I'll never sell this card, is a 2001 Tiger Woods SP Authentic rookie autograph, numbered to 999. And it has his fucking thumbprint.
No fucking way.
It has his thumbprint on it, because I guess when he was signing them, he got some ink on his thumb, so it has like a partial Tiger Woods thumbprint on it. It's pretty badass.
Did you get that at an auction or something?
I got it at I bought it on an auction, in like 2020.
That's so rad. Oh, hell yeah, dude. No, don't sell that.
No, I'm not. It's pretty.
Do you know Beckett Seneke, the rookie on the Ducks?
Yeah, on the Ducks, yeah.
He was like third in like Calder Trophy voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like signed like jersey card from him. It's 1 of 15. And on eBay, there's like one guy selling it for like $1,800. And yeah, I pulled that a month or so ago, and it's been way easier to not buy cards because it's kind of like, oh, I'm never going to get a card as good as that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is people don't realize this, but you're like, literally, like, I don't think my parents realized this when, they were buying me packs of cards when I was a kid, where you're like, this is just gambling for fucking children. Like, it's literally, you might as well be pulling a fucking slot machine at this point. Like, I don't think if I ever had kids,
100%.
If I had kids and they wanted to get into cards, I'd be like, you can buy cards. I'll buy you cards. You're not buying packs of cards.
Yeah.
Or like
it was really funny what the previous caller said about like Pikachu can't tear his ACL.
No, I said that. I've heard that from someone else, and it just because I definitely have some cards where I bought some guy and then he just turns out he sucked and it's worth nothing.
I think some of those grading companies, like one of them in particular, it's not just PSA, it's like 5 of them.
There's 5. There's PSA,
and one of them is trying to set themselves apart.
There's PSA, there's Beckett, and there's SGC. Those are the 3 main ones. Those are the ones that have like been around since I was like a kid. But now there's like it's such big business that there's all these other ones. But PSA is the one where like there's like, I think like a BGS 9.5 Michael Jordan rookie, for example, which is technically considered the same as a PSA 10, is worth like literally half the price as a PSA 10. Like a PSA 10 Michael Jordan rookie, I think it's like $350,000. And I think it's like 150. And you would be like,
yeah, they really set the market standard, huh?
You'd be like, aren't they the same? And they're like, yeah, they are, but people will pay more for them. So
yeah. I think some of them are trying to lean into like using AI for grading the cards now.
Yeah.
That's
use
a total
AI
trip.
So let me hear this Karmelo Anthony story.
Have you,
because I see you have,
well, real quick, have you seen that movie, The Town?
Yeah, I've seen The Town.
Do you know that scene when Ben Affleck goes up to Jeremy Renner and he's like, look, I need your help. You can't ask why we're doing it. And he's like, which car are we taking?
Yeah.
And then they take sledgehammers to this dude's apartment and shoot. Yeah. You need to do that to your niece to get your Pokemon cards back.
They're hers. I'll tell you, I gave her most of the ones that I gave her. Like I gave her like 10 Pikachus, first editions, but none of them were particularly good condition. Like, I don't think any of them would have been higher than an 8. And when I gave them to her, they were worth like $20 each. And now some of them are worth I saw like a PSA 10 and one of them was like $1,000, but they wouldn't grade that. So I'm like, I don't care. She can enjoy them.
That's a trip. Yeah, dude. So I was it just felt like history for like white identitarian stuff being made on the grounds of the Collin County Courthouse, which I live hella close to.
Okay.
When you were doing your shows in Plano, that's in Collin, you were just a few minutes away as well.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that Plano area where the club is pretty cool?
Yeah, it's like really like affluent.
Like there's nice looking people around and
yeah. It's super affluent, nice area.
Yeah.
Really, like everybody's so. I remember when I was there, I was like noted how like friendly and like polite people were. Like I remember like people would just like it is one of those things. Like I don't know if it's a Southern thing where people are legitimately just like strangers say hello to you, and living in New York, it catches you off guard.
England versus Australia is played on Thursday here in Dallas, and there's like a huge England watch party at that Londoner bar that I was able to meet up with you. We went there to get drinks after one of your shows.
Yeah. I remember that.
So I'm going to be there on Thursday, and pretty excited to be surrounded by a bunch of England fans.
Nice.
Real quick, before I go on, when I was fortunate enough to have a moment and grab drinks with you after your show, we've spoke on the phone plenty of times. When you met me in person, did I seem like a normal enough guy?
Yeah.
Okay, your idea in your head of like, oh, this like crazed heroin fiend from Dallas, like,
you look like Shaggy. You literally look like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Okay, but I was like normal, right?
Yeah, you were totally normal.
Okay, good deal. I'm having a bit of like this existential midlife crisis thing that's really fucked with me, and I really appreciate you saying that.
I mean, again, you got to just get off the shit. I know it's hard, but
I literally can't, dude. I've heard all the cliches. I've been in the recovery space for a decade. I've been in all of these rehabs. I know it's killing me, dude. It's just, I just can't. It sucks.
You gotta go, dude. You gotta go.
It sucks having to learn. Like,
no, what you need to do.
I'm mentally weak.
Go to like I know this is obviously expensive, but this is probably cheaper than rehab. Is like go on a month vacation, force yourself to go to fucking somewhere in China, where you're just like not gonna be able to get this shit, and just go put yourself in a hotel.
I'll find an opium den out there.
Yeah, you probably would find an opium den, or like I don't know, like Singapore or something. Like go one of these places where just like the penalty is so insane, it's hard to come by.
Yeah,
there's language barriers, and
you know what? I had a bit of a brief back and forth with Dylan Farnham where I explained to him, no kidding, the best success I've had, like in terms of like enduring clean time, came immediely off the back of mushroom trips, or in some cases,
do mushrooms every fucking day.
It sounds so silly and juvenile.
Well, I've heard
it
stuff
sounds
like
so
that.
juvenile, but
isn't
it's true.
ibogaine? Isn't that the thing where ibogaine is like helps people get off heroin?
Yeah, I've heard like promising results, and like like people are big on ibogaine, but really just for me, I mean, it's that afterglow of, you know, for me when I've like had these great shroom trips, and the 72 hours after, I'm thinking to myself, I need to tell my parents I love them more. I need to drink more water. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think there's an environmental problem where you need to, and I know this is way easier said than done, but it's just like you need to your environment that you're in is conducive to continuing to do this. So you need to change your environment somehow.
These are wise words. Yeah. So when I was at the court, dude, the Black Panthers were there, or whatever iteration of them is going on now, but they claimed that, and we're getting like a substantial response from the CBS news crew that was out there. So they were clearly being taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm no kidding, man. I mean, it was like a fucking zoo, dude. I mean, I'm sure you've heard some of the clips that have gone viral of like only good cracker is a dead cracker.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, it was bad. I mean, it just, what got me was, if you just paid a modicum of attention to the trial, you'd quickly come to the understanding that, oh, this isn't like up for debate at all. This is actually really black and white. He stabbed him. It should really just be, is he getting 35 years of life, in my opinion.
Right.
The facts were out there. And it's like these people who were on the grounds of the county courthouse were still totally echoed off and siloed off in their own information environment, where their understanding of the case was totally contrary to the actual court testimony. You
say it's black and white, and they view it as black and white. It's just a different black and white. They're just like, you know.
Yeah, I guess what perplexed me the most was, okay, like what's interesting is that you don't see their white allies who were posting the black square in 2020 coming to their defense.
No, because this was
if
not.
You go online, like
this was not that, and I think the allies.
You had Jasmine Crockett, who, you know, Jasmine Crockett, who was or is at least now like a sitting member of Congress, like was chimping out and doing her thing and being a total retard and saying like, you know, he could have been any of our kids. And so they got some like backing from like an actual elected member of Congress, but they didn't have any of their white allies come to their defense. And if you were looking at the clips that were going viral, it is immediately obvious that the people who were, you know, wearing shirts that said "Free Karmelo" and stuff, this was a low IQ bunch, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't have like their academics out there arguing for Karmelo Anthony.
I don't doubt that. It's like it's an emotional response, I guess. All right, I gotta let you go, man. I sorry.
Yeah, no, it went late. I appreciate talking to you. Take care, Danny.
Chris from Dallas, everybody. All right, that's been the show. What's our poll at? Our poll is Plan B murder? Yes, 55%. No, 45%. Not a lot of you voted, but that's where we wound up. I guess some of you abstained. All right, that's been the show. Thank you for joining me. Catch me tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. for my Not Financial Advice stream, which is not financial advice. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow because I don't have any money to spend because I have this option. It's all deployed. So we'll look into some stuff. It might be maybe a little shorter one. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/lowvaluemail. Any money on the Patreon goes into my degenerate gambling. That's about it. Thanks, Gerard. A lovely producer. And that's been the show. We will catch you next week, unless you're there tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right, good night, everybody.
My shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. We blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurting. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, I'm pulling up.